Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Grapple Spotlight, recorded here live on Grapple Patreon. I'm Benno.
And I'm Matty.
I didn't know where to cut in there, Matty. Just granted to let it play out.
You know
The sad death of the WWE theme song there, with a nice piano version of War Pigs. Copyright free too, so we're safe from YouTube. How's it going?
I was about to say, is this the funeral procession for the World Wrestling Entertainment? Ben,
that's what I'll play, innit? Yeah. On repeat, because they clearly, like Tony Khan style, played the money like 5 years ago, and they're just like, we're just going to get our money's worth now. We're just going to repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. Until death's door.
But it's a
that's
great
the only reason
song,
to have it continues to be a thing, mate.
That's the thing, it's a great song, but you just hear it so many times that it's like, oh, Jesus, not this again. But
one song Triple H likes, do you reckon it just plays on repeat on his iPod? I don't think there's anything else on there.
No, it's the only non-Motorhead song he likes, to be fair. I'll give him that. Motorhead back catalogue, he's there. And then it's like, oh, Ozzy Osbourne as well, Black Sabbath, we'll throw this one in, yeah.
Well, do you reckon he's got one of those old school like video iPods with just the list and it's just Motorhead, and then like one little Metallica section, and that's it. Maybe a bit of WWE The Music from Jim Johnson in there as well. I reckon he's the type as well. I don't think he updates it himself. He gives it to one of his daughters, and they sort it out for him in the gym, and he's just like, yeah, just give me every time he gets a new phone, just give me the best of Megadeth. That'll do. Give me the best of Motorhead. Sorry, that'll do. Maybe a bit of Megadeth thrown in.
Yeah. No, well, that's great. I've always remember Triple H saying the best shout out. I use it myself to this day. It's like, we live in this tech generation. I don't know how to switch your computer on. He said, it's like, you're the most man alive that lives on the internet.
What's in his office then? There's no computer. Is it like you, pen and paper?
Yeah. It must be, mate. It must be, but yeah, it's one of them, Ben. We'll get into it, I'm sure, today. But yeah, there could be a lot of us agreeing, Ben, which is wild for a spotlight.
Oh, you love the show too, then? Oh, I can't wait to get all that excited tomorrow. That's why we're recording early, by the way. Yeah, people have trapped us here on the chat. It's 4:15 in the afternoon, so if you're a patron, specifically a live patron, you could be watching along, like the chat, and dusting along and work with us during the last couple of hours. Like, yeah, I'm just too excited to talk about it. That's what it is.
This is it, mate, and it's I've got to use me Christmas, so I've got to use my holidays. I've got less for the year before like the 15th or the 16th. It is, we have a cut-off point, so it is good to be on here, Ben, early and fresh, mate. It is. I like.
It'll all change when I'm home, mate. When I'm in Belfast.
Not
in January. 11 p.m. starts, do you reckon, midnight?
We've gone the other way now, Ben. We can't go back.
I'm in a routine now, come on. Oh, I feel so bad. Like, half the reason we're early is because I want to make sure we actually get this in the can. I'm in some very temporary accommodation here. As shown by the steps behind me, that is literally, I'm underneath my bed, as I talked on Sunday. Yeah. I'm in a place for a week here in Hanoi. And there was an electricity cut last night. Coincidentally, 2 minutes before I was supposed to start recording with one Michael Hamlet. So, yeah, I'm hoping that doesn't happen again tonight. If it does, you're getting a solo Matty video. He's just going to go into the full like, hype, subscribe mode, and he'll give you a video. But I think we should miss that as well in case it does happen in the early hours.
I think Papa Shango's been listening to you in your house, mate, because you were going to dive 2 foot into Brett or Steve there, so that's why you got the power cut, mate. So
it's 97, Steve. Now, when we get to 1998, things change because all the other kids in school started liking him, so I stopped liking him. Yeah. It was one of those things. I liked him because in my head he was still a baddie until late 1997, which I know Gareth will disagree on. But yeah, he's the only Steve that's my Steve is 1997 Steve, and we are in that zone right now on Benno and Hamlet, which will be out next Saturday.
It is. I'm still on the last housekeeping, so I can't wait for Avenger to take it, because I always think with that pay-per-view, it's one of the more forgotten like events, because Steve and Brett have another match, don't they? Main event, yeah. And it's probably the most forgotten Taker Mankind match in a way, even though it's for me got one of the most
maybe the best spots. As a spoiler.
Yeah,
really good match.
The spot with that head first through the table, apart from obviously the Hell in a Cell, the most memorable spot they ever done. So can't wait to hear what you think of that, Ben. Yeah, should be good.
Oh, you'll enjoy that then. That'll be out next week. Because the Brett and Steve match, I'd be interested in your thoughts on that from that show as well. Because it's like, I know Gareth will argue whether the double turn took place or not at WrestleMania, but they are still working the kinks out in that first month, where it's like Steve's a babyface, but he's still acting like a heel. Brett's a heel, but he's not fully comfortable wrestling a full match as a heel. Obviously, WrestleMania 13 aside, which is kind of its own kind of thing, isn't it? Its own story that they're telling there. Like, that's the first match where he's just full on, I'm the heel, you're the babyface. Let's go, and they work a more traditional style. But yeah, that'll be on the next Benno and Hamlet. But we've been talking a lot of should get into the plugs. We've been talking a lot of 90s WWF. It does feel like that kind of period right now, doesn't it? We just did a nice little show on Sean Waltman as well, the man who personifies time this weekend. Who somebody did put on the Discord today that when he returned to TNA, which was one of the last matches we did on the mixtape, when he's doing like a tribute to himself and working AJ Styles in 2005. I was like, oh, is this old timer coming back? Putting the boots back on and managing to keep up with the youngins. He was a year younger than Hangman Adam Page is today. And that's Hangman Page. That's not even the old guy we're going to be talking about later on, I imagine, when it comes to AEW stuff. Like, there you go. He is, as we talked about on that show, the personification of time and everything that comes with it is Sean Waltman in the 90s and early 2000s.
It is. It's the originator of that time of like you washed up, finished in WWF at 28. Yeah. That was the original where it's all sprung from. And
spoilers, we work out on the show that his entire WWF run happens in his 20s because I think we worked out his last Raw match is about 3 days before his 30th birthday. So we never actually saw him wrestle in his 30s at any point. Washed up, done, finished.
Mate, it is
all that.
And it is like carrying on from like we had the King of the Mountain. Mankind show, weren't it? That Attitude Era, and it's like, I'm not trying to turn this into an Attitude Era podcast, Ben, but it's like you go back and you realise like some of the good stuff, and not just Attitude Era with X-Pac. We talk all his career, all his different name changes and such, and how they make sense and how some don't.
Couldn't hidden gems too.
Yeah, a couple of really good
not the obvious ones.
Yeah, not the obvious stuff. So it is a good little mixtape, 6 tape that we put together. So go and check that one out if you already haven't, for sure.
That's Mad Platt just said him in the Shikara match against El Generico. He's 3 years younger than Sam Zayn is now. Who could plausibly get another big run very easily. You could main event at WrestleMania maybe at some point. Honestly, keep them coming and enjoying those fast days. So hopefully everyone's enjoying working their way through that. I don't know what else we got to plug, Matty. Anything else going on? Obviously we got Sophia's Queen of the Mountain choice coming up next week as well.
Yeah, Sophia was on another a great choice, a timely choice, as she said as well, with it being Tanahashi's last match, isn't it, coming up on January the 4th at Wrestle Kingdom.
Tanahashi, fantastic. The best.
It's the best Fed in the world now, isn't it? New Japan's back, mate. But we are diving back 10 years to Wrestle Kingdom 10 to watch Okada versus Tanahashi, as well as some other matches that I looked up on the card, of course, and a lot of things.
Okay, on the card.
Yeah. And it's just one of them things.
You're not getting away with it.
What's that?
You're not getting away with it.
No, I'm there, Ben. You're just absolutely made up that I'm getting to watch this as well. I'll have to watch this, so it'll be good. It'll be interesting to see New Japan, as you say, at its peak. I come along a few years later, didn't I, to see a few of these Wrestle Kingdoms. So it'll be good to see this match for the first time in all its
10 years time.
Wild, Ben, innit? It is. It's literally a decade, mate. It's scary. It's past it now, Ben, and I'm scared going into the future. So it's the best. But it should be a great show. Definitely should be a great show.
I can't wait. And I know JP is very much we'll be looking forward to it. I was going to say he is. I actually don't know if he knows that's the show. JP, the show we're doing on Sunday is Wrestle Kingdom. I know he's excited because we did talk about doing something similar to it coming up in January as well. So plenty to look forward to there. Simon comment on my Lion Mark logo in the background. Literally, that's just on the steps there, so I don't fall and break my neck as I have multiple times this week. But there we go. It makes us look professional, makes us look good. But there we go. Got that Wrestle Kingdom show coming up. Obviously, we got all kinds of Christmas stuff coming up. We will have some announcements for that coming as well, Matty, and obviously Retro will be going on and all the usual stuff. On top of that, anything I missed?
Eddie will be on, won't he, to deliver his King of the Mountain choice. So we don't know what he's got wrapped tightly up his sleeve for that one, Benno. So that'll be
you never know with him.
Any other defunct promotions we haven't covered?
Probably won't be good, will it? I mean, let's just all be honest. I mean, he gave us a reprieve once with the ROH versus CZW show, but outside that, he's a terrorist and he knows he is. He's like I say. Simon came close to him last time, but I think it's hard to top Eddie. Hopefully he's in a babyface mood though. It's December. It's Christmas.
Yeah, hopefully,
come up with something nice as well. I've got to say as well, we will move on from the plugs and we will talk Survivor Series. I just want to throw in as well, I've loved the feedback from the pre-show this week. If you don't listen to the pre-show, if you just want to talk about non-wrestling stuff and you don't like us getting onto wrestling stuff, it's up for free every week on the Patreon. It's up for free on the YouTube as well. If you become a YouTube, well, not free, but you become a YouTube member, it's like 99p, basically free, but for free Patreon members, it's up there. And we had a great little chat about Christmas and stuff like that. And yet the most feedback we've had in a while, Matty, is all about advent calendars. And Garrett's, I don't know, was it a discovery for you that he used to have advent calendars in his youth that didn't have chocolate in? Like, I was I off mic at that point, or was I doing something? Because I 100% remember those as well. And they'd be shit when people would bring, when like your nan or one of your aunties or something to get it for you and be all excited. Oh, I'm going to open this advent calendar. And people would put pictures on the Discord of the exact ones we had where it was like, you'd open it and it'd just be a picture of something Christmassy, but it'd be like a sock, or it'd be like a Santa sleigh, or it'd be a shit tree. And I remember by like the 10th of December just being like, well, I'm bored of this now, I'm not opening these anymore. They were 100% a thing. Garrett's not just old, or maybe I'm old, maybe we're all old, maybe that's what it is.
Mate, honestly, I did not know they were a thing, but I'm, as you say, the odd one out here because everyone I've mentioned it to, I said, oh yeah, they were a thing. You literally were joining.
You were spoiled, mate.
You were going along with the pictures, do you know what I mean? To get to what? The nativity on the 25th. It's like, they're all the same. What's the point? Yeah. It's like, no, outrageous stuff, Ben. Not even a little tiny millimetre of chocolate in these things, mate. It's scandalous. We've moved on good for a change, I'd say.
It was a tradition of just like your nan sellotaping a couple of coins in your birthday or Christmas card. That one of Joey Hayes that tweeted it about that one day. That's going to be doing the round soon on Lad Bible in the Air and the like as well. But it was all part of growing up. There you go. It was in there. But could that resonate with a lot of people? Let us know what your Christmas plans are and such as well. But yeah, if you want more of stuff like that, patreon.com/grapple, youtube.com/@grapple. But we are here, Matty, and you are on with no JP today to talk a bit of Survivor Series. Obviously, we've got a little bit of odds and ends at the end. We'll talk. We will get your takes on Samoa Joe as AEW World Champion. And I know little Birdie told me you've been practicing for that over the last couple of days. So you'll be excited to talk all that and some of the other wrestling news going on. But we do need to start. I guess it was a big show at the weekend, but maybe only 40,000 people, something like that in a stadium, depending on who you believe. Like I say, they paid the money for War Pigs. We got a bit of that. We set everything up for WrestleMania as well, mate. But it's just a shame WWE won't be around come April with obviously them putting on, according to Cage Match right now, one of the worst WWE shows of all time, coming at a time when arguably the WWE is the worst it's ever been. Some may say the worst wrestling has ever been. I've heard that in certain bits of audio this week, mate. And yeah, just a shame, isn't it? The feather's dead. Do you have a reprieve? And are you here to defend today? Have you got anything you can say in defense of Triple H's booking and whatever that fucking slot was that aired on Saturday night?
See, for me, Ben, I think I said it on the pre-show. For me, it's just the word that's in my mind. It's just disappointing. It is. It's because we all know, like, once again, if a flip-flop everywhere, forgive me. Like, you start with the War Games concept. For me, in general, it's like we're all sick of it. 2 matches on the same night. We're all sick of it. But even like, and the build-up are always right. We've got this pay-per-view coming. We need to fill the slots in. It very rarely makes sense in the build as well. No. But like when you get there, Ben, like honestly, like I couldn't believe, and I keep saying the word disappointed, I couldn't believe what I was watching. Nothing happened, even though, the women's match, I mean, that was the execution of some of the moves, the punches, everything was just, Ben, it was indie. It's below indie. Like, it was bad, mate. Like, it was really bad. The men's, to a degree, some good things in there, bits not, but nothing happened to me. Like, literally, it was so underwhelming. I can't, like, I'm trying to put it into words, Ben. I literally am as I'm talking to you. I couldn't believe what I was watching. And as you say, typical me all week, like, and I'll always defend the Fed, of course. It's like, I did nothing about the attendance all week, so I actually checked it on Friday, and I was like, I bet you this actually is a good house, because no one's mentioned or been negative that they can't fill it or whatever. And I was like, this is 40-odd thousand. This is in a good little stadium. This will be fucking good, getting yourself hyped up for it. And then once it comes to it, apart from one match, which I really did enjoy, the rest of it was just fucking hell. It was so underwhelming, uninspired. You're saying wrestling's at its worst? I think it could be, Ben. And I know we've seen everything under the sun and everything's about rehashed in wrestling, but fucking hell, it's so bland at the minute. Across, as you say, across the board for me, it's so uninspired, mate, and it's mad. That's all I can say, mate. It's madness.
DJ Thomas saying there, I see more heating up Weatherspoon scrap than War Games. Yeah, Platt saying maybe that's part of it. Tony Khan obviously in AEW running a Blood and Guts so close to War Games. I didn't love Blood and Guts. I think it was mostly well received, but I would absolutely say it was better than fucking War Games. The 2 Blood and Guts match we got in AEW, even for the faults there as well. But I don't even think it is just that. I think it is literally that. Like you say, however many the real number ends up being, like WWE, pretty much build a stadium for it. I argued jokingly on Sunday, some of the worst teams in the Premier League, I don't know, Fulham or whoever, Leeds, they fill a stadium, you know, like, and people still come. So I don't know what that necessarily is an indication of quality, but it shows there was an appetite and people treated this like it was a big show, that Survivor Series is a marquee show, that it's worthy of a stadium. Maybe War Games concept is worthy of a stadium, but there's a bigger conversation there about like WWE and like them taking those fans for granted, and I think that's exactly what's happening right now. I think Triple H is fully in autopilot if he's even answering his emails. Like he's just not like you said, nothing happens on these big shows anymore. It's almost like I saw Reboot say it's like a reverse of what he used to do in NXT, where nothing had happened on the NXT TVs, and then at least the takeovers were good. I actually thought Raw was pretty decent this week and last week. It hasn't been great, over the year, but it has mostly been good. And like, yeah, like the reverse is true, that like the pay-per-views are where nothing happens. The pay-per-views where it's kind of taken for granted that, well, there's people who fill the stadium, and anyway, on to the next bit of content. It's like pure slop for slop's sake. And like I say, that thing that has been tapped in even by yourself, who could be argued as a bit of a WWE defender at times, like, how can you possibly defend it as well in that? Like, yeah, like that seems to be the attitude. Like, they'll just take this slop and we'll get on with it, and nobody will be thinking about it come the next pay-per-view cycle.
But this is what I can't get my head around, Ben, because even the War Games and like, ignore the match concept,
which needs to be retired. Yeah,
it does. It does. But not just try and ignore that aspect if you can. It's like you've got your 10 arguably like biggest people in the company in there, and it didn't feel exciting on the night. It didn't. No. They didn't lay it out, and that goes down for, once again, you heard the stories about the politics backstage. I believe all that because,
I don't buy it. That's WWE Unreal content to me.
No, I do, because why didn't they have the shark cages there? Why? Because Brock Lesnar couldn't be seen standing in a shark cage with Bronson Reed.
I could believe that, actually. Yeah, I could believe
that's what I'm saying. So it's like, even with the three baby faces, Roman, Cody, and Punk, it's like, but that's my point, Ben. It's like, no, you have them. You use a bit of creativity and you play that into the match. If you're trying to tell this, Roman's caught in the middle of who he's going to challenge for the championship, you can be creative and do that. Like last year with Punk, and I know it became a meme in the end with Punk and Roman in the cage. But it was all white. Even like that was the last time all the Discord enjoyed like a WWE main event, and that was a War Game. So we're only going a year later. That was part of it, the intrigue, the creativity, the story, and all that they were telling. There was zero of that. It was terrible, the entrances coming out. They had to have the shark. What a terrible idea. You know what I mean? It was, and that's just only the start of it, then. You could go.
I never liked the shark cage in the first place, so I'll agree on one point there, but still.
Yeah. It's like, it's wild, and then you get to all this, as you say, in autopilot. Is there a level below that? Like, honestly, what is going on? It's like, I don't know. I can't even. You can see what they're doing still, even with Roman, that, but it's not exciting. There's nothing to be. Bron Breakker's pinned CM Punk. Nothing. It just feels not lazy, of course, but I don't know, uninspired. It's just, it is, Ben. I'm scratching my head, and that's me. Even the finish, mate, with the Masked Man. I mean, fucking hell, like. Number one, he missed his cue, which, all right, fair play. You can't see what you're doing. You're climbing over the cage. But Jesus Christ, that was so fucking like lazy.
How would you go back to that again? Yeah. Even with no reveal either.
Yeah,
like the most, like, it's just kind of like, we'll come up with an idea later. What that reminds you of, like, some of the bad booking of the 90s and the early 2000s that we saw. Like, that is purely no ideas. That is literally laid out for you there. We'll figure it out later. Like, they'll accept it. But lazy, you've summed it up. Lazy.
Because that's what that is. Because it's like, all right, people don't like Austin Theory, fair play. Let's say that is Austin Theory, it's meant to be. Like, I think Meltzer reported it.
I think it will be.
Yeah, but my point is, that's how bad it is. It's like Triple H could change his mind, couldn't he? And go, well, it doesn't have to be, because you could fill that with A, B, C to Z, couldn't you? By the time it gets revealed, you could literally have anyone as that person. So it's kind of like, is he got the plan to do that? Is he going to flip and change like the old days where it was like this?
Yeah.
Triple H, to his credit, and you always even begrudgingly give him credit, he had a plan, Ben. It was snail pace, granted, but he had a plan. Me and JP for years on here, I've always said, what can we plan for WrestleMania? There's not one match, and we're after Survivor Series now. He was always planning at SummerSlam time, Triple H. He's lost it, Ben. He has. And I don't know whether he's going to get it back.
And I feel like we were having this conversation last year. Like, arguably, have we not been having this conversation since, like, the fallout of WrestleMania 2024? Like, it's pretty much since then that it's kind of been in this spot.
I'd push back on that. I still think 2024 was probably on the decline, but it was still good. He still had the plans. People might not like the Roman arc, getting against the new bloodline. That at least was a plan. People, obviously, the Netflix building to Roman and Solo. once again, it was still a plan. It was still something you could see. They had creative segments, whether you like the characters or not. There's none of that at the minute, though, Ben. It's Vision coming out on the mic. There's no creativity to it. It's just ABC wrestling. And once again, that's probably across the board. Whereas AEW have the good matches, and I'm genuinely I'm sticking up for them there. That at least is exciting in its own way. WWE aren't even having the great matches.
Well, tournaments for points.
Or even
at least 2
but this is what I'm saying.
Get you through the lean winter.
It is, and he's got this. Well, it's keeping him going in a way, this John Cena thing, because at least that is, to be fit, what we want to say about John Cena, and once again, I've come round him after the years, that is a big moment. That will be a genuine, like, emotional moment. But it's after that for me. He can't
done
use
the best
that
to
anymore.
fuck it, though, didn't he?
Yeah, we did. Completely at the same time, Ben. This is what I'm saying. 2025, since that Netflix, is just, it's gone downhill. Everything. It's almost like, right, we've made it. We've made that money.
Done it.
The creativity thing, we don't need to do it no more. We can rest in our laurels for the whole year. And you can't, Ben. You can't get away with it, mate. But once again, can he though? Because as we say there, he's filled 40,000 people. How long will this last before people get onto it and go, I'm not paying for this anymore. I need a bit of something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's true of every. Again, Gareth would argue whether we call this a boom or not, but it's true of every boom, isn't it? Like there's always a delay. You know, you get hot, and then the buildings stay busy, and then it takes a couple of years, and then eventually people get onto the fact that it's not the same as it was before. It happened with WCW, it happened with ROH, it happened even with Progress. That happens. with companies and it's like a delayed kind of like ECW, same thing. It's like a delayed people getting onto it and realizing it's good and buying the tickets in advance. But then it's all of it's just a mental part of ready to just fall aside, isn't it? Because you look at yes, there were 40,000 people here. I can't believe people are still paying the ticket prices that they're asking for. I know, did you say in the shadow of it you bought your WrestleMania tickets? I don't know if it created a little bit more of a doubting you. Shall I just go to a bar on the Vegas Strip and watch it instead? I just feel like it's just a recipe for disaster. Surely at some point all of these things are going to explode. Maybe we're seeing it in front of our faces happening. Maybe we are seeing the wool can't be pulled over people's eyes, even the most hardcore of hardcore. I always use yourself as an example, or obviously Pamphlet as an example. I think people who really enjoyed this WWE boom, who would argue against the types of me, Gareth, and JP, are pretty much in the same boat as you now.
Yeah, it is, Ben. And once again, I bought it just for, as you say, solely because it is WrestleMania, and then it's the last one I can go before it goes to Saudi.
Plus it's Vegas, isn't it?
Plus it's Vegas, plus I did get it cheaper, £300 cheaper the combo than last year. So that's a win in itself, you know what I mean? So
how much was it last year for it to be £300 cheaper? I wouldn't pay £300. What percentage drop is that?
We'll go into
get me a month in Hanoi. Yeah. Come on.
Too many figures with that. We'll go into too much detail. But you're right. It's we're always going to be there, like the likes of me and Pamphlet. We are, but we're starting, I think, to lose a bit of we can only take so much, Ben. And even I said it a couple of months back when it was a bit on the and then for me it did pick up again around Crown Jewel and stuff. They were giving us stuff. There was a good episode of SmackDown, which honestly you won't believe, the other week.
No, I don't buy that. No, you're the only person I've heard say that.
Yeah, there was one episode. No, I'm flit agreed. There was and it was I think it's false hope all the time. It was a show long, and it's right, let's just have this every week, even if it is a bit all over the place. Let's just have this every week, and then it's back down to this uninspired, formulaic wrestling telly. It's and these characters, honestly, apart from Punk, I could argue, and I know we're getting Bron Breaking and that over, but everyone's less over.
That was good on Raw.
12 months ago. Everyone's less over though, Benno. They are to a degree. They are, and it's that shouldn't be happening. That should not be happening, mate. So it's going to be interesting, as I say. Get Cena's tournament out the way, and once again, it'll be blind hope going into the Rumble, going into the road to WrestleMania, where it's meant to ignite you and get your juices flowing again. So there's always going to be that. They'll always have me on that hook, Benno, as you well and truly know. That I'm right, as I say, get Cena out the way, then we're going towards the Rumble, and we'll see what's what. But time's running out. Patience is wearing a bit thin. Even I've got to say that.
Oh, it is, and it feels like there's been let's say it's not like they have been knocking up out of the park on the TV, I'd even say, but it does feel like there's been a sea change. There is I don't know, maybe these pay-per-views aren't as important because just in raw numbers, less people are watching, but it's still, it's still supposed to be a pay-per-view. It's still supposed to be what you're building all the TV towards, and it just doesn't work. And I think that was proven. I don't know how much you've seen of this week's Raw, but Raw actually felt okay, there's some developments happening now. We're getting some stories going now, and it all felt separate. And it does tie back in, to go back to it, what people were saying earlier, that idea of having war games at this point in the calendar, like it's probably the last thing they needed with things being so uninspiring anyway. But like it felt a bit like WWE's Forbidden Door period, where it was just like, oh well, we're doing war games, so we've got to do war games. We've got a pay-per-view called war games, so we're just going to throw some people in the cage, and actually the actual important things that are happening, we'll do tomorrow on Raw, or we'll do in the build to WrestleMania, or we'll do in the last seconds of the pay-per-view, where it felt like they were teasing Roman and Cody, which I'm excited to kind of get your thoughts on and go forward on. But like that, to me, that's my read on it. That seems to be the situation that we're in.
And I think that is, and that's where I'm saying about that SmackDown, which you might agree with. I think, in a way, yeah, overall, when you're putting it like that, Ben, you're probably right. It's like, it is the pay-per-views. Like, as you say, this did feel like the ultimate, like you've just said there.
What would you do about war games? What would you do? Would you just bin it off? For AW, I'd bin it off. I think WWE have killed it now, and they've killed it themselves. I always pops a TV rating with AW, so I can see the argument. Like with WWE, I guess it pops the stadium here, like, so there's at least that. But surely, like, because it felt like when Triple H was more tapped in, and it wasn't that long ago, it felt like at least he was more tapped in when it came to the Punk and Drew stuff. Wasn't the entire story behind that, like, we're going to justify a Hell in a Cell match this time, rather than, you know, just doing one for the sake of it? That logic hasn't been applied, has it, to war games whatsoever? That tells you there's a difference in approach, even, you know, this little time forward.
That's what I'm saying, but that was at Bad Blood as well, wasn't it? That wasn't at like a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view where you say, like, you're crutched to do it.
Yeah, that history tied in, but
of course,
it was less
it made more sense. Exactly. But with war games, Ben, and people might, I think I said this on the preview video, in an era, we don't want 2-night pay-per-views. I don't think we do. But I always say, if you're going to do 2-night pay-per-views, you do it for the chamber and you do it for war games, because then at least they're separate on the same night, that they might stand out, like the women's one night, the men's the other night. Like, that's what I'd do if you're going down that route of the 2-night pay-per-views.
I'd just drop one. Do one of them as a traditional Survivor Series match, like they did on SmackDown this week, which was good. Again, SmackDown wasn't good, but the match was good. Yeah,
that's exactly it. But yeah, for me, you'd have one if you're going to do it, Ben. And even if I don't care who it is, men or women, you just do one. And I say do the other one in a traditional match. That's probably the best way to go.
No one's going to cry, are they?
2 on one night, as you say, you're zapping your own creativity when you haven't even got it in the first place. So you're using it up for 2 things, which makes it even worse when you've got to do 2. So it's a lose-lose situation all around, especially when he's like this.
Massively so. I mean, that takes us into the show itself. Obviously, we're going to have probably lots of sidebars when it comes to what's going on here and what's being done for WrestleMania and what exactly the plan was going in. But like, it's going to be an easy day at the office. I think maybe we'll be on to talking the stuff I know you really want to talk about, which is you know, the fantastic promo that was cut on the TV this week. And no, I'm not talking about Braun Breaker. I'm talking about Eddie Kingston. But we'll get there. Like 4 matches, mate. Going to be easy. Yeah, just women's war games that kicked us off. Does that not just sum it up? Like, we joked about it. You joked about it on your preview about we're gonna get a bin off the side of the cell spot. Of course, we got a bin off the side of the cell spot. We got like everything that you'd expect out of a cage match. I don't necessarily disagree massively with you that, like, you know, as far as like the work goes in between like the bells of the thing there. But like this, for me, I was just sitting through it going, like, this just doesn't work. Like, this whole, and at least they had a submission finish in the women's one compared to the men's, but like, this just whole, the match doesn't start for 30 minutes because we've got to do 30 minutes of entrances first, and we got to do 30 minutes of nothing. I've never seen it more exposed than on this show across these 2 matches. You can argue that criticism is probably even more valid for the men's, but you could feel it in the women's here as well. And like, outside of a couple of the pops for the people coming out and the uniqueness of seeing AJ Lee in the spot, like, they were just giving absolutely nothing here, just nothing at all.
This was terrible, man. Like, I'm not sugarcoating it. This was borderline embarrassing. I go as far. This was bad, mate. This was really bad. And as you say, for the talent in there,
coming off the blood and guts too, with what the women did in blood and guts in it. It's not everything is AEW versus WWE, but it is when there's 4 war games matches in a month. Sorry, you're going to be compared. Like, I saw Renee, I think it was Renee said, her daughter, you know, once said that a daughter wants to watch a war games match. I hope she put AEW on. I didn't put her on that WWE pay-per-view on. I think she can do with some blood and guts if it's you know, going to be that difference mark of quality. I think it'll put you know, toughen her up for older age. Better lesson for a kid than to watch whatever this was.
Yeah, and that's when I'm not saying, like, you know, we don't want, you know me, I'm not a fan of full-on, like, forearm exchanges and slapping exchanges real, but you've got to lay it in a bit more, Ben. This was exposed, and then some in this, the strikes, some of the stuff with the cages, it shouldn't be on that. I'll use your line. It shouldn't be on national TV streaming service. It shouldn't be shown. It was, I really noticed it a lot in it, Ben, and it was like, and look at the talent. I was like, that is in there. Same with the men's match. So it's like, are they going in thinking, oh, well, this is just a night off type thing, but it shouldn't be a night off. It's War Games. If you're going to have these matches, then you've got to go out there and you've got to deliver. So it's a bit on both. I don't know, maybe, that's an argument in itself, but the trash can spot, I mean, they tried to mix it up with the swanton.
So shit.
But and I'm not this guy. Usually I can ignore, like, people huddling and people getting ready. It literally was pass you the thing. Standard. The heels get up and get together. That's what I'm saying. It was embarrassing. It's like, we do something different. Let's get in there creatively. It's just zapped out of everyone, Ben. The creativeness.
It's literally indie. It's literally the type of thing you'd see on a Fight Club Pro show. Me and Colin be like stood in the audience, and he's a cornet build. He'd be like, look, they're just standing, waiting for the dive, and I was like, yeah, but that's still better than people landing on the top of their head. But when, like you say, when it's on television, it's on Netflix, you've got to, and that remains true. But you've got to work it a bit better.
Yeah,
like the bit about Rhea Ripley putting AJ Lee on her shoulders was like a cute twist on it, but that was the only new idea there, wasn't it? It's literally, it's the spear through the guardrail, it's the masked man in the black hoodie. It's just, let's just do that again without really, outside of that, much of a twist.
But you know
5
what
years,
it is as well?
Jesus Christ.
Do you know what it is as well? And it's like, I mean, I love Rhea Ripley. Like, I've been one of the biggest defenders.
He always done 7 War Games matches. Fucking hell, Dusty Rhodes would be rolling in his grave. Like, what are we doing?
That's in NXT as well. That's in NXT.
What are we doing?
But, like, as I say, with Rhea Ripley, I've been, like, a biggest defender, supporter. Like, she's great. She is. The look, everything.
Star power will get you a long way.
What we all know. But I think she's, like, I'm not saying, I don't want to have a dig it out, but she, like, in this with the entrances, why is her teammates getting done in? And why is she doing her full entrance? She's just been programmed so much to do that. Look at the camera, do the thing. Your mate's in trouble here and you're posing for 60 seconds before you get to the ring. It's shit like that.
Remember when she did that on NXT?
Yeah.
Do you remember that was like a meme? Like she came out, she ran out, she did like the whole stomp the ground thing and like did the whole entrance. Like someone was dying in the ring. Like that was how many years ago? Like 10 years ago.
But this is what I'm saying. It's like you're programmed that much to be a WWE superstar that, like, all right, I don't blame them for that, but it's like, use a bit of nous, use your brain, get in there yourself at the same time. And I'm not digging it out because, who am I at the end of the day? But when it stands out like that so much, Ben, you can't not but pick it up because it was that fucking obvious. Like, it was awful. It was, what else have we got here? Like, even like the stuff, and once again, I'm not wanting fucking, Last Legend to be taken, the mist right in the eyes, but she sprayed it up in the air. It was nowhere near the face, Benno. Get at your chest at least, like, make it look. Your workers, your wrestlers, make it look like it's doing it instead of making it not look like it's like I'm going up my mind watching some of these things at the minute, Ben. It's really annoying me, and I mean, but don't get me wrong. Like, I think I called the finish correct in this as well, which I'll do a Barry Harwitz on the back of me. But it is AJ Lee. Once again, I don't mind it though, the paint by numbers and dragging AJ and Becky out. That's actually quite a positive for me, that, Ben.
It's over, isn't it? And people have got fond memories of the tag, and they haven't killed it yet.
But at the same time, are they gonna carry this on? Is the singles gonna be at WrestleMania? Or are we doing
I was gonna say,
well,
it's not coming in January, is it? It's going to be like Netflix debut, mate, re-debut, or whatever they're calling the January 5th show, maybe.
I'd say WrestleMania.
You're probably right.
Yeah. I'd say, but once again,
and we won't see it again, will we, till then?
I'm taking that as a, like, backhanded positive. Do you know what I mean? As if, like, oh, okay, it might be that, but at least it's a bit of direction. That's what I'm taking from it, and it's like, okay, fair enough. She tapped it out twice. Becky's going to lose her mind. Fair enough. We'll carry on with that. That's okay. But this match was horrendous. It was really bad.
Yeah. It's amazing. She's saying all the lines I need to say, really saying it all for me. Like, that is pretty much it. It was bad, and everyone was bad in it. The reactions to the people you'd expect to be over weren't as there as you would normally expect as well. It was not a good omen for the rest of the show. Like, it told you exactly where we were and what exactly they were. The lack of planning and the lack of ideas they had for this, and for obviously the one that followed it as well.
That's what
Becky
I mean,
as well. Got to mention Becky. How bad was Becky? You're a Becky hater like me, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody said this today. Cringe is the word when it comes to Becky. Like, everything about her, right down to the tweets she's doing, right down to the stories Ed and Seth are telling about, like, some guy flipping up the fucking electric car. All of it, just awful. Done by a Tesla, and then you fucking gobshite. Just terrible. All of it, and she comes across no better in those situations either. It's just cringe.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Whereas, like, she was half winning me over with some of the stuff, in earlier on the year with Lyra and stuff, and I think I had her down a couple of years back before she come back, like putting Tiffy over and stuff like that in NXT. And I know I always say that just to do your head in, but and I respect that about it. But once she's got her teeth back in, as you say in here, and seeing her on Twitter, but remember like fooling everyone when Seth done the big reveal, as if we didn't know he wasn't injured, as if like we all got, what is she doing? Like, but yeah, it was bad. Some of the acting and some of the selling in this by her was just beyond bad, to be fair. So yeah, let's move on, Ben, because it is. And
minus stars.
Just a no rating, Ben. Like genuinely, it was even going just way minus, because, and this is what I mean. Like I'm gonna wax lyrical about the next match, and to a degree the match after. I think the overall thing of this pay per view is that
I'm shocked about one of them.
The War Games is just it's dead. It's unless you're getting creative, unless you're gonna lay it in, unless you're gonna fully be immersed in it, just drop it, like So.
Well, we said we'll move on to the next match, which was Dominic Mysterio and John Cena. I've seen this get a lot of the pelters online. I don't think it was the most creative. I think it was quite repeated to spots we've seen from Dom before. Very specifically the finish itself, and very specifically the fake injury stuff's always shit, isn't it? It's shit when it happens in AEW. It's shit when it happens in WWE. It's the old remember on Nitro, I think it was, when Bagwell faked the broken neck. And I was like, oh yeah, all for a bit of heat for them to attack Rick Steiner after 15 minutes of nothing happening on the show and everybody tuning out. I always hate that spot. It always drags on. It always goes too long. I will say though, and again, Gareth will kill me, I don't know if guilty pleasure is the word or not, but I did mostly have a good time watching this. I think I've got probably more criticisms than you will have for some of the way they got to some of the spots here. Yeah. But I actually thought the finish was, but maybe not an original idea, well executed. And I thought this was exactly, for better or worse, what it needed to be. Even the people who didn't like this, I don't think anybody's going to tell you that John Cena and Dominic Mysterio need to have a straight up wrestling match. Exactly. It had to be overbooked nonsense. It might not be your flavor of overbooked nonsense. I think a lot of people in our audience are going to say exactly that when it comes to the feedback to this, but it had to be overbooked nonsense, and that's what they did. And it's a low bar, but it probably was my favorite thing on the show as well. But I think that's damn with fake praise from me and maybe more legitimate praise from you.
Yeah, I mean, I love this, Ben. I did. I'm not gonna lie, I loved it, and as you said, you nailed it there, because you got to separate it. You're like, it is John Cena v Dominic Mysterio. How else would you book this? You have this type of match.
You'd be daft if you booked it any other way, wouldn't you? Even the most hardened, pure. If Gareth was booking this show, boots and trunks wrestling, he'd still make an exception for this match, wouldn't he?
Yeah, and because you're gonna get, is it going to be against Cena? You're gonna get that straight up emotional match in his last match, so you needed one more of this for Cena. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I loved it even more. And I mean, it was something. I mean, I bought the botch, Benno. I bought that he was genuinely injured, because the way they did
I watched it after the fact, but I can't imagine I ever would.
No. I did. I genuinely thought, because the way they done it was genius. I honestly thought it weren't just your typical, I do a moonsault, land on my knee, and I've hit my leg. It looked like he'd fucked up off the Hurricane Rana, so I bought that for the start. But then obviously the longer it went, I thought no. But originally, for a split couple of seconds, I did buy it. But I love some of the stuff in here, but even Cena giving his fair fucks, like taking Raquel Rodriguez's finisher, taking the code red of Roxanne Perez. I loved it all. It's good. It was, as you said, entertainment.
It was good bullshit getting them thrown out.
Of course, yeah. Laid in, and then obviously the Judgment Day lads coming down, doing the old double AA and stuff like that. As you say, this is how you'd book this type of match. And obviously the big news is Liv Morgan coming back, and all right, I could have done it a bit better with the slap to Dom first and then doing the callback with the Cody and Cena heel face and shit like that, which you could have done a bit differently. But overall, you keep them together, which they are. You tease more and stuff with Roxanne going into probably WrestleMania with Dom and stuff. So I did like in the fact that they did screw Cena over. And Dom, once again, 2 for 2 on my predictions. Dom was always going to win the title back, obviously. And I just had a great time watching this, Ben. As you say, you switch your brain off, enjoy this one, and it was what it was, mate. Yeah, I had a great time.
You know, I can't switch my brain off. I got to stop directly. Kind of point out they've done exactly this. Like, they've done literally this much exact story, right down to Liv coming out and doing I mean, I know that was supposed. I guess that was a callback to The Rock.
Yeah.
I guess
the whole Rock,
facial expression thing, and then the kick him in the bollock stuff. Like, again, I think the only clever bit about it, I suppose, was the situation she came out in, where they kind of tried to double bluff it, didn't they? Like she was coming to save Dom, and then she turned on Dom, and then obviously she turned on Cena instead. But I can't imagine anybody was, as soon as she went in for the hug, despite like doing the daft face. But again, it's stadium wrestling, isn't it? By hook or by crook, this is what they do. Like for stadium wrestling, they want that shot of her face so that everyone in the crowd can 10 seconds ahead figure out it's coming. It's literally shot for shot what they did with The Rock, isn't it? They want that like slow reveal, and they want that slow realization. But like I say, the stuff that came after, I like that, you know, Dom went straight for the kill and went straight for the win there. And like, I don't think there's anybody, whatever they do, I'm assuming it's going to be Gunther and not LA Knight, you know, facing Cena as retirement. Of course. Whatever they do there, I don't think even Gunther is going to get as much out of John Cena's retirement win as Dominic's got. And I don't even think he's got that much, but he's got the most out of anybody, hasn't he? He's gotten the most juice out of anybody out of this retirement run. And really, it's kind of what this run should have been about, especially when Cena was a heel, should have been about making some people, or at least pulling some people up before he left. That's what he says in interviews when he talks about it. I would argue he's done the best job of that with Dom, and I think it's looked like he's enjoyed it every step of the way as well. He's enjoyed the work. He's enjoyed. It's not a night off when you work Dom, but it kind of is as well with the type of match that he did here. I think, you can tell Cena's into it.
Oh, 100%, Ben. Nailed it there. That is, he's got a lot, and this is still, you know, Dominic Mysterio since WrestleMania. Like, he's stepping up. He's competing on the mic. He's still over. He's probably one, I'd argue, before that. Maybe not getting the big boos like he was when he first turned heel, but he's still over.
Because they were going to turn him face, and then they just didn't. So like, which was fucking MJF booking, wasn't it? What was going on there?
It's a weird one, because you're going to probably get him and Balor, I think, at WrestleMania, which, once again, maybe not the best match on the marquee, but it's introducing story and stuff, which the slow building and stuff like that. But Dom is the man, he is, and long may continue for me. He's just, like, he's got it, and he has. He obviously needs to improve.
Not the best wrestler under 30 or whatever Sports Illustrated said. I'm not having that.
But as a full package, Heat Machine, just the way he carries himself, the way he can stand up to a Cena, and way he can stand up to anyone on the mic, I love it, and long may continue. But I agree, he's got the most out of this. And good for Will, Ben. I mean, you know, he retired Goldberg, didn't he, in the summer? He will, you know, I've seen his last match and retired him. So it's a notch for Gunther as well at the same time. So at least two will get some more out of this than most of others. Like R-Truth, he didn't get much out of it, did he? So yeah.
Fucking hell. Ronnie. We'll tell you now, it was the best thing possible that he could have possibly done there to turn him back babyface and make everything meaningless already. Then when he beats Aleister Black, at least I enjoyed that. Like again, if you're not a fan of like this match, I get it. I think a lot of our audience are going to say that, but that's, you know, this is WWE most. This is as well as this version WWE can be done. Again, damn with faint praise, but like that. If you don't like this, you don't like WWE, and I think that sums up a lot of people, and it's absolutely understandable by the end of this night. But yeah, this is the best flavor of whatever food there is WWE are serving up. I mean, I look forward to it. We're going to mention it later in the news. Stephanie McMahon doing commentary on Cena's last match. You're going to look forward to hearing that. You're going to be emotional with it. They were trying to play it off, obviously, when in the post-match of this. And this is Cena's last pay-per-view. I can't believe Dom did this to him in his last pay-per-view. It didn't really feel like it meant much. Maybe it'll mean something when it's literally his last match, his last TV. Although I do know Wrestle Purists have reported today that he's already advertised for the Raw after WrestleMania, which they might have bad information. I'm almost certain that's a screenshot from last year's WrestleMania weekend, but it wouldn't shock you if they did it. Maybe that's what it is. No one really believes he's really going away.
I mean,
maybe he'll hit us all.
Yeah, he might make an appearance, but he won't wrestle again, will he? I believe that. For a wrestler, I actually do. Maybe I'm getting work, but I do believe he won't wrestle again. Oh, of course he's going to make appearances.
I wouldn't bet money on it, but I think I agree.
Yeah, that's standard that he's going to be on Raw and that. I mean, of course, but I think Stephanie. I mean, what's going on there? But emotion, you know what, Ben? I probably will. I'm like that, aren't I? Like we all love Goldberg to a degree, but I'm not a big Goldberg guy. I even got a bit at when Goldberg, you know, when he was coming out for his, and it's going to be a big moment. I'm just seeing how they're going to lay that one out, because obviously with it being on television, network television, are they going to save all the... Will Cena want the big like send off? Number one, probably not, but they're going to give him it anyway, aren't they? And it's probably going to be straight as it goes off air, all on YouTube straight away. But I don't think Cena would want
like Goldberg
and stuff like
that. Through the speech.
Yeah, but Cena they'll actually clue Cena up on that one like they did to Bill. But yeah, it'd be weird to see how it is. Yeah. But you know, it is a big moment. Ben, it is, and you know me, I'm no John Cena guy, but it's a big moment, isn't it? He's been on our screens for so long and been the face in so long. It is a big moment, generally, when it does happen. So,
Tony Khan pulled, isn't it? I mean, I get it. You want to put Gunther over, but like to do the Goldberg moment and do this as well, like it's like maybe just like they just saved it for the Cena one and done it there. I don't know if they make it a deal of him doing it twice. Maybe they will.
They will.
It does feel a little bit repetitive.
But
there we go. That's that is the other positive, though. I don't mean to be totally negative on it. That is the other positive that I think we're getting Gunther until he swerves, bro, and it's LA Knight instead. But moving on from there, you're swerving me, mate. I am shocked to that you might be positive on this next one. Speaking of Stephanie Vaquer and Nikki Bella, like this was the most it was a match I've ever seen in my entire life for a 4-match show. Like this was way below the standard I thought needed, and I think that's just. It was also as good as you're going to get out of Nikki Bella, but, we've got Michael Keane playing centre-back for Everton, and, his best is still pretty shit, People let him off with it because, but he's only Michael Keane. It's like, yeah, but he's still fucking crap in here at the end of the day. You kind of got to say that Nikki Bella, she's doing the best. She did decent enough work for. She's in that role, I said it on the weekend show to JP, she's very much in that role that, like, Trish was in, where you're expecting these women from the previous generation to come back, do their own little tribute act and move on. They are trying to give it something to sink its teeth into, and you can see the bells. You can see it trying to make this into something more compelling than just a boring retirement run. But I just unfortunately think, maybe this being mean or not, air ceiling is still quite low. And I felt like we saw it in this match, but it sounds like you got a different take than me.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't amazing or even great or maybe even not good, Ben. But like you say, there maybe it was just the fact that they did put a bit of thing into this going into it. I thought, like you say, maybe it is. I thought they tried. Do you know what I mean? And maybe that's not enough for most, but I did think they tried. And I mean, I love Stephanie Vaquer. She was trying her best in this as well. You know what I mean? But it was more about as you say, let's see what Nikki Bella's got. And I agree with you. Air ceiling is limited, of course it is. But I thought they give it a good go. And once again, maybe that's not to everyone's like the word I'm using there, but. It was, and they did do some good stuff. Like they tried, they done a bit of leg work, didn't they? Obviously, Nikki with the heel turn and such, and they done the obviously the devil's kiss. I enjoyed their dead cell of that. I really did. It's like, why would you be slapping your hands on the mat? You would take it like that. I've got to give Nikki Bella that. She done a bit of homework there and not made it look too theatrical. It actually looked like it hurt and looked like it was.
She's been working with Brian, and she 100%.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Been on the phone. Been on the phone there. Got there. But I say it wasn't amazing though, Ben. But I just thought for the effort they give. I'm all for that, and I do love Stephanie Vaquer at the same time as well. So maybe I'm a little bit blinded in that sense. But yeah, as I say, not in blow away by any means, but
bad in other words.
I thought the other go. I wouldn't say bad. I wouldn't go that 2-footed on it. I just thought it was.
I'd say a non-entity is what I'd say is what it was. Like really, I don't think there's much to discuss about it. Like I guess maybe that's the strongest thing I can say. It's not like I can massively pick the bones of it and point out loads of like really, really bad stuff on the bad end. It was just a match. It really was. And it was a match that didn't feel like the crowd were into because it didn't feel like anybody believed that Nikki had a possible shot there. Yeah. Despite the fact that Stephanie Vaquer does feel a little bit like Triple H has his head turned by all the goths on the roster and he's just not interested in her anymore. She's not been given the greatest, platform to jump springboard off, really, despite, like you said, the great work she's done. I have been shocked to hear that she's very much in your wheelhouse as the future of this division, but yeah.
But that's the thing with it, and I think it's like, I like the all-rounders, man. I think she's got everything. Do you know what I mean? I think she has got everything. And I think it is, you want her in there. She's had that. I think she beat Tiffy, didn't she? But you need her in there now with the next level. You need a proper feud with like a Rhea Ripley. You've had little matches with Io Sky where she won, obviously, the time. But you want a big feud now for her going in. If she is one of the ladies that you're going to push, let's get her in there with the big gun. Let's have a proper feud going into the Rumble and WrestleMania. And let's see her, I'm more than confident that she'll deliver when she's put in one of them. So, yeah, we'll see with her, mate. We'll see.
2 stars. Let's move on. Coming up, I'll be generous to give her this next one 2 stars. That takes us to our main event, mate. After all you have to do is on the network app or if you're in certain countries or on the Netflix app, just skip along about half an hour and then you'll finally get there to this main event. Tell you what, rewatching AEW pay-per-views the day after or the day after the day after is actually quite hard work at times because the big pay-per-views, but squashed with lots of content and you don't really, especially if you're reviewing them, you can't really move on. I will give the WWE the credit that at least when you're watching it on repeat on these things, you can chop this thing down to about an hour and 10 minutes, I think, even with a 40-minute overly long women's War Games match and however long this main event went as well. But we do get there. We do get to the main event and yeah, I mean, we basically, let's go with like the WrestleMania stuff. Like, did you buy anything Heyman said going into it? Did you believe that we were getting this?
Buy anything he ever says.
All of everything Mania had set up. Like, I was surprised anybody was. I'm surprised. People were literally buying that he was going to reveal on Raw who the mystery man was going to be because he said it. I was like, it's Heyman. Like, everything's going to be a character. And of course, I got up this morning and we are none the wiser any further. But I do think they created like their own problem. They created a rub for their own back. Same with Triple H going out there, and people, for better or worse, actually people do believe them when he says, "Oh, this is going to be what they say, game changing Raw this week." Don't know about that. Yeah, Heyman built it up that we were going to know everything WrestleMania coming out of it. I think we know that we're getting Roman and Cody coming out of it. I think anyway, and I think me and you would book that. It just feels a little bit now that it's happening in this lazy period of Triple H's booking. He's literally doing it because it's lazy and not because I think lazy and obvious are maybe slightly different things. I would do it because it's your Rock Austin, isn't it? Like, I think he's got enough juice to do it again. There's a more interesting story to get there. With Roman in this character role that he's in. With Cody, you could lean more into potentially him turning heel at some point as well. I just can't imagine they're going to do it in the interesting way I imagined a year ago or 18 months ago when I thought we were going there. But I'll start there. Do you think we're going there? And then we'll work backwards through some of the positives and negatives of the match.
Yeah, I think, it's clear. Let's swerve us again. It's obviously, it's got to be clear, hasn't it? You know what I mean? With it coming out of it. And I did, once again, Ben, I've got to give a positive. I love it.
Would you book it now? You do, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I do Roman and Punk, don't get me wrong. I do that. Either or it would be sound. But it's for the proper belt, isn't it? That's their history. That's their feud been built on. It's for the proper champion. And as I say, we're probably going to get overly excited about, like, oh, yeah. It's like me, Roman, with the redemption shit, Cody with being the champion now and could be leaning into being a heel. None of this will happen. It'll probably be shades of grey. It'll probably be a lot of bollocks going in, Ben. Can they coexist? It might be all this.
We'll be doing a podcast the week before WrestleMania and going, was that it? Literally, the thumbnail I'll put on YouTube will be, was that it? Question mark. And I pictured it. Have you noticed I used Jey Uso as like a replacement for you? Like, you look sad in that one rather than happy when you've enjoyed the show. Like, you know that's coming, don't you? How many years in a row has that happened? Like,
exactly. We want something. And, you know, once again, I'm always on the hook and hoping for it. But whether we get it's another story. But I did like, once again, it was typical what I like. Roman caught in the middle, Ben. I know people don't like it. He was caught in the middle when he sitting there. In one ring was his family, and in one ring was the champions.
Punk ruined the shuffle, didn't he? He rolled out. He rolled into the other ring. The dickhead. He doesn't understand cinema.
He doesn't.
He's still a wrestler in there somewhere in Phil.
But even
like the fact he's doing the worst work of his career.
Yeah, even Punk. It's like, what's going to happen? Like, yeah, you're right. Cody and Roman looks it, and then is it Bron Breakker versus Punk once again? All right, he's pinned him now in a War Games. Does that mean he's going to earn the title shot 6 months later? It's like, that is slow for even for fucking Triple H. It's like, all right, you do it maybe at the Rumble.
It's fast for him.
But you know what I mean?
Fucking hell, like, WrestleMania next. Sure, you mean the next WrestleMania? Sure, you mean Saudi WrestleMania?
But you're right. It's like, what else apart from that? All right, it's a big match. It is. You know, we've joked about the build might be. That is, as you say, you're Rock Austin. You go to that even in times of desperation, or even if it's not the plan. It's something to have up your sleeve, isn't it? Your ace in your sleeve in the hole where you can go, right, we can throw Cody and Roman free out there. The rubber match, you can build it up, of course. That's fine. But the others, as you say, Breakker and Punk, I'm not buying that as a match for WrestleMania. What did the others do? What are they doing with Jey Uso? Like, what? There's nothing else. Logan Paul's going to be featured, of course. Brock Lesnar, the only thing you can do with him, for me, is Gunther. That's why Gunther's getting these scalps.
Send him back to his home planet?
Yeah, but if you're going to use him, that's the only way you can do it. You can't have him just coming out doing, as you get, it's your shout thing, attributing to himself, just squashing people. We've seen it for too long now. You know what I mean? At least when he put Cody over, it was something fresh. You know what I mean?
It's the equivalent of, like, have you seen the stuff this week about MVP saying, like, he tells Bobby Lashley's opponents, oh, Bobby's not taking that. And, like, I kind of like that. Again, I like wrestlers defending the corner and, like, making themselves look strong and wanting to win matches and stuff. But at the same time, you are Bobby Lashley, though. You know, you're not quite Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar is not Brock Lesnar at this point. Him coming into this match and fucking with no regard for where Cody was landing, with no regard for where Punk was landing, or did he get Roman? I think he did get Roman. There was definitely a Jey Uso one in there where he almost killed him. He's still operating like it was 8 years ago. Like, he's still operating like he's that Brock Lesnar. You're not that Brock Lesnar anymore. If there was genuinely these back and forths going on backstage politicking, if I was Cody, I'd be pulling rank and going, he's fucking, like, yeah, Brock Lesnar was saying, I'm Cody Rhodes now. He's CM Punk now. He's Roman Reigns now. Like, they're considerably bigger stars than him. He shouldn't be able to throw them around like that. He shouldn't be working like that. We should be accepting where he is in the world, but they're going to pretend like it is 2015 still.
That's my whole thing. If you're gonna have him round, which they are, you've got to present it. Obviously you've got to get a bit of his, because he is still Brock Lesnar, but you've got to change.
You got to be realistic about what he is, don't you?
Yeah, that's what I mean. But that's why the Gunther thing makes sense, because you can still have him as the big bad, but then it's like, well, I'm the new big bad now. I'm the new.
But you honestly think Gunther would beat him? Because I don't. That's what I mean. Like, yeah, I get it. I know what you're saying. You should. He's a monster. You should present monsters strong. I get it. But like, is it actually going to result in anything like that? We saw it with Cena already.
But once again, this is us like fantasy booking, obviously. I'm like, but and if this doesn't happen, that would be better. We're booking this better than they are. You know what I mean? That would be a good use of both. And especially if you're taking Gunther, who you continue without the championship as well, because he's always been at the championship, no less in WWE, hasn't he? The Intercontinental Champion or the World Champion. That's the best thing for him without a title, to get another scalp like that. And you put him over. Obviously, not squash him, have a great competitive hard-hitting match, and then beat him. And it's like, fine, you've got your new big bad boss, of course. And yeah, it's. But everything else, I keep saying it, mate. Everything else out of that, I said AJ Becky before. Are they going to last that for 6 months? What else is on the table? There's nothing, and we're nearly at the Rumble. No. Like, obviously, we're on the road to the Rumble after the Cena tournament, so it's wild. It is. It's they're going to do like they done last year. And as I say, I was lucky enough to go, and it wasn't the greatest WrestleMania, but I still had a great time. We'll still have a great time when I go next year. But it's like, even like Drew McIntyre's at the time got relegated to Damian Priest. It just all felt a bit, didn't it? We're going to get that again, Ben. We're going to get piecing the jigsaws together a month out. Fatu and LA Knight got put in the last minute, didn't it, for the US title? You're going to get all this again, and that's what, obviously, I didn't think would happen, but we're going to get it. We are. Sad.
I mean, if we go to the match, like you say the booking doesn't matter. None of this match felt like it mattered.
No,
like any of it, any of it. It was long, worse than the women's, I would say, just a long stretch of nothing. Until there were bits in there, as far as like Punk and Cody. Like, I think that's an interesting dynamic. I would probably still go to Roman Cody, but I do think they should get to Cody and Punk sooner rather than later. I think there's a Punk Roman program that could be interested in there. There were glimpses of that being interesting. I don't ever want to see Reigns and Lesnar run it back. Like, that felt like yesterday's ideas to me, especially Brock just walking out the cage. Like, that's the type of thing people criticize AEW for, especially with Blood and Guts, and there we are, we're seeing it in WWE. These cages, I've never meant anything less. I didn't think the action was particularly inspired there. Didn't think they had particularly any interesting creative spots. We've already lampooned the introduction of yet another man in a hoodie, and this time it's not a Samoan. And like, worst of all, like, I don't know, we've agreed a lot today. Are you going to defend to me the yeet spot that I think a lot of people in the chat are going to want to hear us talk about today? Like, is that, something that should be happening in a War Games match, even in WWE? Like, I saw the criticism before I saw the spot, and I think I'm going to be on the side of the people who criticized it. I think there was a way to make that work. I think there was a way to, it's a WWE cage match. It's WWE. They want their fucking shot, don't they, of the stadium yeeting along with Jey Uso. It's a moment's promotion. If you absolutely have to do it, maybe you could find a way. As they did, we're on top in this fleeting moment, so let's do it. It's still fucking bullshit. It's still completely... For an already sanitized version of a War Games match, it just sanitizes it 10 times more. But it didn't feel like Lesnar was in a rush to get out there. It didn't feel like, I guess it did pretty much play right into Lesnar coming out.
And
then you could say it cost them there. Didn't really, though, because it took him about 10 minutes to come up before he started dropping people on their heads and stuff like that. But is that the only defense you can give to it? Is it worth it for the moment, Matthew? Is, again, Dusty Rhodes rolling in his grave? I've already seen Jamesy lampoon this and many others. Again, it's a WWE War Games match, but even this surely a step too far for them.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't belong, as you say, if you're going on the tradition of what the match is and stuff like that. Yeah, it obviously doesn't belong. But as you say, it is that moment's promotion. And once again, it's just the execution of it, Ben. I think, as you say, I get why they done it, because everyone's having a great time. Look, here comes this big party pooper. So I get why they done it. Do you know what I mean? But the execution mightn't have been as flawless as the idea is. But yeah, it shouldn't be in a War Games match. Even I can't say that. But it shouldn't be, should it? But as you said,
no, Jey Uso shouldn't be, mate. No, he shouldn't.
No, Jey Uso should be in all the.
I've never heard you so. People haven't heard our recent audio. I've never heard you so down on Jey Uso. I think if you went back and listened to those old spotlights, you'd be on my side rather than your side in the civil war of Jey Uso. Like, honestly, I think the biggest problem with this is everything we've said, but on top of it, like, is it not Jey Uso just playing into the fact that he really doesn't have anything to offer outside of the heat? You would argue outside of his, enduring crowd connection that creates 40,000 people want to react like that to him in a stadium. But I feel like, I guess you could play it into the story to tell him with him, but like, for all the shit he talks in interviews, for everything we've tried to do this year to kind of put him back in that spot, like, he's proven through his in-ring work he doesn't belong in that spot. And surely this crutch, going back to this here, just kind of, it's almost like he's accepting of it. I'm the Yeet Man. That's all I do. I've got one mode, and that's it. Like, you can't be happy with your boy. He has not in any way elevated even to like what I would call the lowest expectations that, people who love Jey Uso might have had for him.
No, I mean, I agree. I always agreed in the ring. Always agreed with that.
No, you didn't.
In the ring. In the ring, I've never said he's an amazing wrestler. You can go back and check the tapes.
I think you said it didn't matter.
No, I'm not saying it. No, didn't matter to the degree that he obviously got over with, because I'll sacrifice being the worst wrestler in the world. But if you're over, which is why we wrestle, really, especially in WWE,
that's why it's fake, isn't it?
If you get, you're coming out getting the biggest reactions, you're gonna go with whoever. And once again, genuinely earned, as you say, connection, the story earned it. Everything, we're into repeat.
Well, who's going to beat Roman Reigns when he gets the belt? So.
Yeah. Well, you could have done that though.
You couldn't. We've proven you couldn't.
You could have done that at the time as a quick championship reign. But anyway,
how bad would that be?
You're trying to get me in there. I'm not on
Roman Reigns would be like a mid-carder by now if he did that to him.
But my point is, I agree with you that the fact of, and I'm half going to stick up for Jey, of course I am. But this all ties in, Benno, to the lack of creativity, like we've said throughout this whole show. Jey Uso is that type of wrestler that he'll need the good creative, i.e. look at the bloodline, look at the story he was telling. If the other people are lazy giving it to him, I agree, he's not the type of wrestler that's going to go, like a CM Punk or a Cody Rhodes, do the best with bad creative, a Steve Austin. He's not even nowhere near that type of level. But he needs this, because as you say, outside of losing the title, we're going back to like, him and Jimmy thing, stuff. All right. You can do it with Jey to a degree. But even now, after losing to LA Knight and he had the fit and that, what is it leading to? It's all right doing it, but what are we leading to here? He's been like this since he's lost the title. Do you know what I mean? Like he's had these ups and downs. And are we just going to keep doing that until forever? Or is there actually going to be something out of it? Even I've got to say that, Ben. He needs a bit more. Once again, this falls back to Triple H. We need more creativity going forward with all these wrestlers, and especially Jey Uso, of course. I want to see him back up there, Ben. That's me, you know what I mean? So,
we also need to not be crap, which I think we actually agree on now. Like,
I agreed with the fact of he got the title, which he should have done. Even we'll disagree on that.
Yeah, because it's not the world title.
No, but he got the title. Which
it's a mid-card title, and he got the mid-card title because he's a mid-card.
Of being the most over person on the roster, right? But he's not the guy that, like, obviously he's been a tag wrestler all his life. I'm repeating what I'm saying. He obviously probably got it and was like, well, I can't do this. And once again, accept the criticism he gets off, like yourselves, where he's not built for it. He's probably not built for it, Ben. He probably wasn't. And it was just time to step up and see if he could. And he did. His matches weren't the best, really. They weren't great.
I'm listening to you talk. Ewan's comment in the chat, he's fucking shit. Yeah, that's what we need. Yeah.
Well,
counterpoint, he's fucking shit. You know me. Fair enough. Would you accept that I do value that he's got that crowd connection? I do value.
But you can't argue
that's not easy. That's not easy.
You know what I mean?
But he's got to step his game up in all the other regards, and he didn't, and he hasn't, and he's never going to be anything more than what he is. He's going to be. You asked me what he's going to be doing in the future. He's going to be working like he's going to be like Hacksaw Jim Duggan, mate. You're going to see him at the full of a wrestler, Liverpool in 30 years, bumping for Damon Lee or whoever the equivalent is in
not everyone's built to be the world champion, are they, Benno? You can say that.
Oh, they'll be bumping
millions of wrestlers.
Obviously, you won't be taking bumps. You'll be honking on it.
Yeah, but that's it.
It's fucking terrible. It's like there.
That's fair play. You know what I mean? As you say, the favourite wrestlers dream to be as over as Jey Uso. That's wrestling for you, though, isn't it? That's the ups and downs of wrestling. You can be the greatest wrestler in the world, and you can hear people ordering at the bar. You know what I mean? That's where we're at with tastes and with different opinions. But you can be so over like Jey Uso and not be the best wrestler in the world. It's peaks and valleys, it's ups and downs. It's why we do what we do, Ben. And I'll always argue to the death and always stick up for me, main man, for being one of the most over wrestlers of all time. So we'll move on. Let's go.
People have quit the Patreon before because I don't hold you to account. So hopefully I've held them to account, folks. Let me know in the comments if I haven't enough, and I'll get them when he's not here. Usually the best way to do it.
It's usually when I'm not here, Benno, believe me.
No, it's more when you're here. To be fair, it is. I'll do it to your face, mate, smiling, and I enjoy it every time. Do you have anything more on the match? Anything more on the content?
Oh, we haven't mentioned the Bron Breakker almost fucking dying off that Doomsday device. Jesus Christ, I thought he was done, Ben. The camera stayed off him. I thought he was done. Like, that was scary.
Whose fault was that?
You'd have to go Cody and himself. I mean, he's trying to flip bump. Cody didn't.
People were trying to blame Punk for it, but like,
Punk, no.
As someone who's taken that bump, it is absolute. The thing, and this is just my limit of experience in like the Northwest wrestling scene. The way I was trained, you kind of want the guy to hit you as less as possible so that you can
do
bump.
it. Yeah.
You want a bit of momentum, so maybe that was missing. But like, really, you want to take your own bump, and that he wasn't allowed to.
Oh yeah, is that breaking news? Larry's passed away there, Ben.
Jesus, you should clarify that's Punk's dog, Larry.
Yeah.
That's kind of maybe a bit sad. But
you know what? Yeah, I know. And maybe, you know what? Because he had the Larry's dad on his thing, and I was like, why? Obviously, that's why. To be fair, he probably wasn't in Elf, and I even won't even get that. That's fair play there.
Not going to make fun of that. If you've ever been in that situation, it's a horrible
thing.
You don't wish that on anyone, do you?
No, nobody. Of course, mate. And it will have, obviously, it affect, as you say, I've never been a dog owner. I've seen it with my own eyes with people, family members, Ben. It's a real big thing. So, yeah.
Jesus. Sorry, that is funny. They'll never be able to testify in the brawl-out situation. Eddie.
Fucking hell.
We've got a fan light in the dark moments. Christ. We have mates who would say it's only a fucking dog, but we won't name them. Anything else that you wanted to mention? But shit show on it, mate. Awful. Best WWE show of the year, genuinely.
I mean,
because it's Survivor Series.
It hasn't been a great year for pay-per-views. Top of my head, Ben. I mean, they all kind of roll into one at this point, but as you say, for expectation, because I thought even SummerSlam over the 2 nights, once again, I always use my thing, you condense, the two, the Blueprint 2 theory in it, you condense all the best songs on that, you get one great album. I always use that.
That's most double albums, though, isn't it? For all honest with ourselves. Life After Death.
I don't know, you can have some double albums that are 10 of fucking shit, you know what I mean?
What's a good double album?
Oh, fucking hell. I'm trying to think here. I always go to rap.
Just one. Because I only go to rap. I don't know anyone else either rap. I can't think of a good double album, genuinely.
No, and the good, like even the Guns N' Roses stuff, they were released as separate albums, weren't they?
I should say good across the 2 albums. There's easy argument to make, isn't it? There's one good album across the 2. That has happened. I'd say that about All Eyes on Me. I'd say that about Life After Death. But you'd end up getting shit, don't you? When you make your pay-per-views 2 nights, same argument in it. You end up getting some shit.
I think this was probably, as you say, for the build, for the setting, for the attendance figures, for everything you want to throw at it, for the as you say, the occasion, it probably was, overall, because your 2 marquee matches that you're selling this on weren't great at all. And one for me was horrendous. So, yeah, it's got to be that, Ben. Because I mean, I did love Cena and Dom for what they done, as I say, and the other 2 girls tried hard. But when you're selling it on them 2 with a 4-match pay-per-view, and you're 50% of your matches, and your big 2 matches aren't delivering, you're in trouble, aren't you? You're really in trouble. So we move on, Ben. We move on. We have, as I say before, we get Cena's last match out the way, and we've got Blind Hope, Blind Faith going into Royal Rumble season, mate. So which is in Saudi as well, isn't it? So yeah, it's
just you. Oh yeah, I think they're going to look up now, aren't they? Yeah, absolutely.
Well, this is it.
Netflix debut.
Yeah, it's
at least WrestleMania's not Saudi. At least it's Vegas this year, and then you got next year's.
That's it. I'm on the high hopes, and that I'm keeping myself positive because I'm going to Mania, so I'll be keeping as positive as I can up until then, mate.
Good to see the chat being nice about the death of our Larry. Sorry, it sounds like I'm joking. I'm not. Couple of shouts there for good double albums. Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. Best of the Beatles, DJ Thomas says. You can throw that in there. There you go.
Yeah.
Street's Disciple by Nas. Was that a double album? I was out by then on Nas, to be honest.
Oh, yeah. I don't know whether... I don't think even like yourself or the crew, you'd say that one was great. But, yeah, it's... I can't think, really. I say the Guns N' Roses...
Good beats, could he, Nas? That was always his say. That's why that DJ Premier album's going to be good coming up.
But that's why he was over with the work, though, weren't he, Nas Benno? Just his he was still wearing.
That's why he needed acapellas, wasn't he? He didn't need the beats.
He didn't need anything else, Nas, to be fair to him. I've never been big on Nas, but he didn't need it, did he?
Agreed. I agree. What a poet. We've got other, obviously, non-WWE stuff to talk about. Just quickly, did you see any of Raw? Did you see Braun Breaker's promo? It was really good. It was. It was bad, actually. To be fair, at the start, he was like, it was very Steiner-pilled in that he was fluffing his words a little bit and he was struggling to get going. But I think from the moment he kind of pops his top off and he gets a bit angry and like he shoots a couple of pew-pew shots at CM Punk and the family home, which might not have aged well now, but was good stuff for the television. Thought he did a really good job, and yeah, I think he went up in I think most people's estimation on the back of that.
Well, that's why. No, I only seen clips of it, Ben. I'm gonna watch Raw tonight, but it's one of them in it. I think it's about damn time.
Solo had a good match, you know.
He had a couple over the last couple of years, Ben. If you're going off Dave, you know what I mean. So
he's in there with Gunther.
Well, his high rating was his high ratings are going to be averaging well. Big Solo.
This is going to beat it.
Yeah, but I think, like you're saying there, back to Braun Breaker, it's about time. You want to be, if you're going to be putting him in there against Punk, he's got to be on the mic himself and not relying on Heyman. He's got to be given a chance to be doing stuff like this. And he's always going to, as you say, fall back on like the Steiner stuff as well and just snapping stuff like that. But
if JP was here, he'd say, just call him Braun Steiner. Even today, when I was writing the description for Spotlight, I was like, how many K's are in Breaker? For fuck's sake, I hate this name.
Yeah, it's not the best name now at this point, but it is, Ben. It's about damn time, and we'll see how he gets on. You know, he's obviously going to be a future world champion, but we'll get in there. Just Logan Paul still knocking the, which I don't mind. If he's actually in division, that's fine now.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah, I like that. I do. Even like I know Drew's like not in them, but I'd rather that just fill the members up and have them in there instead of just hanging around with them. Just I don't mind that as well to a degree. So it's I say, Ben, got to stay positive if I can with little bits.
And anything on the MFTs winning the SmackDown Survivor Series match? I've seen your brother in arms, Michael Hamflett's been defending the existence of the MFTs as a mid-card act. It was fun. It was good. And it's a shame. I miss Sammy from the War Games this year, and I know he's been tweeting up a storm, and I imagine they're going to make that into a story. But yeah, it was a proper good old school Survivor Series match, wasn't it? And even down to like Hamflett was saying, even down to having like the timer on screen and having the little factoids and stuff like that, and the graphics, the elimination, pure sports in it. Type of stuff we should be doing in other promotions, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'd say like I enjoyed it a lot, and I mean I'll always defended Solo for stuff like that, where you're using his heat that he's been earned over the last couple of years to get other, like, I know Sami Zayn's the exception in that team, but like Nakamura, you're eating him, Moses the Machine Guns, Ray Phoenix, you use a Solo for that. But he's got his work cut out for him in his next feud. Like, even like if Solo Sikoa doesn't go up in everyone's estimation, if he gets anything out of the Wyatt fucking six, I mean, even I'll be saying he's fucking wrestler of the decade.
The Wyatt six.
That's what I'm saying.
The NFTs.
Yeah, it's I love it though, because I agree with Hamflett. They're just a gang of fucking, like, they just know what they're doing. Do you know what I mean? And they just heat though, aren't they? That's what I love about them. And yeah, it was a good match overall though, Ben. As I say, it was old school. It's good to see. Let's get more on the actual Survivor Series next year and fuck the War Games off. Hey, let's just go back old school and let's just have pay-per-view full of them. Let's use you've got this big roster. That's what I mean. This could have been your opening match on a Survivor Series night, and I say even the 10-man in the main event being an elimination match, and there's loads of wrestlers you can plug in and have good work rate matches as well over there in the roster. So yeah, we'll see, mate. But Solo's always going to be the man for me, Ben.
Well, I like setting that up, because now that you've defended that, you can't possibly say anything negative about what to talk about, which is, of course, the main events of this week's Spotlight. A few little odds and ends to talk about, mate. Not only a couple of smaller matters, but not the big matter of Dynamite this week. There's a fantastic main event coming up for Dynamite this week. If you haven't seen Braun Breaker's promo, I hope you've seen this one. Eddie Kingston cutting a killer promo on Collision. Unfortunately, but in ring, and it's short as well, easy to watch, mate. It's only 3 minutes of your time. Impassioned promo, even Barry's Twitter in it to set up a match that is already happening this week on Dynamite, him versus Samoa Joe. I would have taken a couple of weeks of them promoting each other, but they're not men who like to stand opposite each other in the ring and cut promos, usually, unless it's unusual circumstances. But yeah, fantastic main event for this week's Dynamite, mate. And I'm sure you'll agree with me, there's absolutely nothing wrong with a man of Eddie Kingston's young age winning the AW World title. And I think that's a good line in the sand to have. And you can't possibly take that argument and flip it the other way for anybody else.
And you know what? That's fair enough. Like, this is like that. Well, this is the Eddie Kingston everyone's wanted since he's come back, hasn't he? You know
it's next week. Sorry, mistaken.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we will get promos this week. All right, I misread that. That's good.
Yeah, that's what I mean. This is the Eddie Kingston everyone's obviously wanted to see, and myself included, when he's back. But yeah, but I mean, once again, it's.
Great,
I always say
promo.
it, don't I? No, good
great
promo,
wrestler.
But I always say, no, I'm a fan of Eddie Kingston. We're talking about Eddie Kingston, not Samoa Joe, aren't we? We're still on Eddie Kingston, yeah? Because...
True, both of them, innit?
Oh, right, but it's one of them...
Tell a great story with both of them. You can find a way to make it work.
It's one, again, it's like... That's why we... it's hard to sell it. If you're going basically just on what the telly is, then yeah, it's good, but it's known what we know.
No, it's not. It's bad based on the telly.
Yeah, okay, you know what I mean? It's like...
You could do it, but I don't know if we've gotten ourselves there, but anyway.
And as I say, I've had a discussion with a few of the listeners will know, like we had this last night, like when we went out for our annual Christmas vaunt in Manchester, and I said, after I'd built up the courage, I was like, Samoa Joe AEW champion, and I just thought, and that was it. Then it was like I've never seen such a passionate defense of something, like genuinely.
You watch yourself.
Which across the board, I mean, yeah, true. Which across the board, like, was universally like gone against. Do you know what I mean? But he was like, if you watch the TV, every minute of it, including Collision. But I just kept coming back to the fact of it wasn't aimed on telly, Samoa Joe. I said it wasn't aimed for me him getting the shot. But he said, but he won a 4-way. I was like, all right, but that's okay. But in winning the title is not aimed. Then he goes.
Be hooked, mate, with part of the story.
Well, this is it.
Letters.
This is it. Aces. What was it? Aces and Ops. To see the
Aces and Ops.
Yeah,
I'm proud of that one.
But then it's like, what can you say to that? What could I say back to that other than the fact I don't
you
like
watch the product.
And I shouldn't be the world and he shouldn't be. But as I said to everyone, I don't have to watch 50 million hours of telly to understand that Samoa Joe should be your world champion. But then he's saying it's part of the story of last time, which we've already done. I'm going mental. I don't know at this minute, Benno. I feel like I am. It's it's madness to me. Absolute crazy.
I think, like I said to you last time, I think where me and you can agree is I think it's the wrong conclusion. Sorry, it's the wrong. Your evidence and my evidence are completely different, but I think we come to the same conclusion in that I actually do agree. Maybe there, I don't think they did a good enough job with Joe to make him even really a singles guy. He's not been a singles guy since he lost the belt.
That's what I was
He's
saying.
Been in the Trios division. That promotion was, you cannot kid me that Tony Khan was booking him with the idea, or maybe he was and he's just a bad booker, but like he was not booked in a way that he was going to be in this position and then he was going to be winning this title. There is work he could do to get there. There is a story you could tell with Joe that isn't him playing not just Bully Ray, but playing Mox or playing like every cowardly heel with like his backup of the ops as like his backup then, and like cheating his way to victory with this cunning plan that Hook, who was going to turn on Hangman Page, as if like that needed to happen in the first place. Like, why do we need to do the whole fake out thing if that's where we're going? But Hangman Page and Hook, like these great friends that Hangman always trusted. No, like it's just shit. I thought you'd like defend that element of it, like as a Russo pilled man would, but like that's the problem for me. Like they haven't done the work. They didn't do the work to get Joe to that position. They're not doing the work now. And like I say, there's a way you could present Joe as a world champion. I think even in 2025, it's not the ideal. I agree with you and Hamlet and your point of view on that. You could do it in a way where like he's a badass, one last run type of guy. Samoa Joe being there, slip on a banana peel, like craftiest man in the room who's having his underlings do his busy work for him. That's not a Samoa Joe character. Like he can do his best to pull it off in the promos, and we said the same thing in the build to the Hangman match. He can do his best to make it kind of feel big time, but there's only so much someone even as good as Samoa Joe can do. Like it's not been booked in a way that if you were planning this to make Samoa Joe your world champion, you could even get away with in 2025 for me. And that's what I'm getting into, what the job they've done with Hook to make him this important character in the story. And more to the point, the job they've done with Hangman Page, who I thought you'd be loving this. You hate Hangman Page as world champion. Like
that's where I'm at.
Like, surely you plan it better.
I feel sorry for Hangman Page because I think he should be the champion. Like there's no need. But then once again, I can't go in and chat and Discord. I don't watch AEW minute to minute. I do keep up with the angles. That's fair enough. So, but what I'm saying is, if I'm wrong, then obviously tell me. But he should be the champion. Hangman Page should be all this. You built him up, and even the pushback will be, it's a type of character he is, etc. But he's not Gareth said, who does watch every minute, who does watch everything. You've built this up so well that even I couldn't. I was like, fucking hell, to your big stadium, your big moments, the big bad Mox got his comeuppance. He had help from Swerve, all your stories, Samoa Joe himself, all that story's in there. You've crowned him at this moment. Comes out the next week, I'm the fucking world champion. Let's go. And then he ends up with this. I don't get, but then people will say it's part of the story with Swerve, their ongoing history and past, etc.
The stories and the well-told stories.
There's other ways you can get there. There's other ways you can get there. I was saying to Kiwi last night, you could do all this with Hangman still as the champion. Do they coexist against the Ops? Whatever. But Swerve will always have the fact of he's the champion again, and he's got to go for it. He's got to go for it eventually again off him.
And he did a bad job of that as well. Swerve's taken out by Okada. Swerve's beef was with Moxley and that. It wasn't with Joe. They were on the same side. Like, they haven't covered that. It's almost like just Swerve and Hangman want to take a few photos together with fucking chains wrapped around them
for their story.
The rest of it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
It's like, there's better ways of doing that too as well. 100%. Like Simon says here, do you think it could play into Joe being older, not the way he once was? I think there's an element of that story you could tell, but like just not with hokey, interference-led finishes and the way they executed this with Hook being a main character in it. You could maybe do it in a way where maybe Hangman's not 100% because he's had, I don't know, a long match or he's been in a tournament or something's happened and Joe on a one night basis. That whole argument, I'm not as good as I was, but on one night I can be as good as I ever was, or whatever the line is. Joe could have that one good night and win the title, and you could tell. Because somebody said that to me. What if they're telling a story? What if they've realised the telly's been quite boring for a while, and it has. For the last run a while, it has been boring. Maybe that's the reason you're not watching it at this point, Matty. I'll give you that. But like maybe it's just to refresh things, and Hangman wins the belt back at Full Gear, and it's just something. Well, by the time January comes around, we're gonna forget Samoa Joe was ever world champion. I mean, I think that might be a way to save it if that is the direction we're going. But even then, again, I just don't think the planning forethought, and there's elements of story in there, but it's like it feels like arguing with you about Bloodline. It's like there are elements of it there. There are things you can pull at and say a story, but were they actually the planned story at the time? Like, I don't trust this book enough to believe that's the case. I don't trust this writer.
But that's the thing as well, I say with Hook, Benno. Like, what if you've got the Ops? All right, you need more members if we're going down this route. But you've got Hobbs there who, like, you kind of could use on a Hook. I just don't.
That would be a much more interesting prospect,
you know what I mean? Hobbs, because like, is Hook ever going to be a thing? I was saying this to Cleary last night. Is he ever going to be anything? He might be because he's young enough.
Should be. But no. Hook's never. Hobbs or Hook? Do you mean
Hook? Is Hook ever going to be anything?
No, not a chance.
You'll go out on, you go out on that and say that now. Yeah.
I said this on Weekend Show, but April, he'll be a babyface again. And I know I said Samoa Joe won't have another singles match coming out of Full Gear, and I was wrong about that. I think I'm right about this, honestly. And we're all going to... remember when he was an important character for 3 weeks? Like, we've seen it before. We've seen this company booked. We know its positives. Its positives are it gives us great matches like we saw in the Continental Classic at the weekend on a Dynamite last week. And it's given us some of the greatest wrestling TV and pay-per-views I've ever lived through. The weaknesses are things like this. Like, the weaknesses are things like just deciding randomly the Hook's important. Like, or just deciding randomly you're putting the belt back on Samoa Joe. Well, I thought you'd make the argument. We've seen it once. It wasn't that inspiring first time round. We didn't need to go back to it.
But Cleary used that as part of the story. That's what I'm saying. And I'm like, well, you can say that about anything. Literally, can't you? That, yeah. And I'd be on the opposite side if you were saying it about Bloodline. So I'm kind of cool because I do admire, always said, mightn't be into the Hangman character as most people are, because all this comparing to Steve Austin, I mean,
you should be because of the story.
It makes you want to vomit when he's compared to like a Steve Austin. Does my head in all that?
Who compares to Steve Austin?
You're not on Twitter anymore, are you, Benno? You're not on Twitter as much anymore.
I mean, people say things on Twitter, that doesn't count.
Even Cleary said last night that he said he's a better wrestler than Steve Austin. I'm like, whatever. This is arguments and this is good debate. Whatever. Lost me chain of thought now. Sorry,
he's not Tyler Bates, is he?
No, he's not. I mightn't be into the Hangman personal, his character, but I've always defended, and maybe this is because I'm a Swerve guy, I love the fact that they're career rivals. I'll always say it. Wrestling needs that. That you can't maybe Rhodey and Coleman, I'm saying. Cody and Roman, you go back, even when it's lazy and when you are struggling a bit, it's like, right, we can always go back to that because they're so intertwined. I like that. I love that though, Benno. I do. Me love too. That side.
I just do it on something more worthy than this.
But this is it. You can always go to it. Some of the angles they've done over the years, some of the matches they've had. Incredible, of course they are. So I love that side of it. Don't get me wrong, but he should be the world champion. Samoa Joe shouldn't. That's what I can't get.
Why though? Because this is funny as well. Because we've done too much meeting in the middle today, mate. Because I should just remind everybody, I am the Samoa Joe zealot. I'm like one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, and I will defend him to the hilt. But I think it's like in old age, I've moved from like being a fully left wing to somewhere in the middle, and you've moved from being fully right wing to somewhere in the middle. Not to disparage you in any way, but like, why do you hate Samoa Joe with how much the rest of us love him?
I've never just bought into and this is once again, Ben. We're all fans of what we like.
Good 20 years ago, I think you said on the Samoa show.
But this is my point. Like, and I get that. Yeah, I did say he had great matches 20 years ago.
As was The Rock.
But, okay, wait there a minute. But Rock hasn't hung around like a bad smell for 20 years since. Do you know what I mean? But my point is,
because he had an option.
Like, no,
he would have otherwise.
I get it, Ben. That like, of course, with anyone. If you like them, I didn't live through that. As in, like, you were entrenched in it. Fair enough.
Some of the best matches in wrestling history.
Yeah, of course, you're always going to have that affiliation for him. Of course you are. I've just never bought the fact that Samoa Joe's this monster, this aura, this thing. Like, I've never bought it.
It's right in front of you.
Years. No,
you've watched the matches. We did Joe Kobashi on this podcast. We did Joe Nacho on this podcast.
But it's like, to me, it just looks like and once again, I'm no Brad Pitt. I'm a big man myself. I just see him as. I'm on Scott Steiner's side. It's like, he's your champion. Him. He just doesn't look intimidating. He doesn't look.
And Solo Sikoa does.
I'm not saying Solo Sikoa does. I'm not saying he's one of the greatest of all time. I'm saying
it doesn't matter, does it?
That you've got to use. Samoa Joe.
He's intimidating enough.
I don't see it. I do not see it at all.
I've never seen him work.
Never ever seen it in my life with it. Do you know what I mean? And the time he was when TNA probably in like 05. Once again, that's 20 years ago, where he was having the good matches. You know what I mean? With that Styles and then Angle and such. That was
the great matches, the greatest matches of all time.
You've got to give credit. They were big and they actually drew. That's probably the time Samoa Joe drew as well against Kurt Angle, the biggest buy rate in teenagers. I'll give him that. But it's
always presented as a solid, believable option. Most through his career. Again, that's why Tony Khan's gone back to him. He's gone back, break glass in case of emergency. Like, he's put Samoa Joe in a tough position. Like,
he's a fan like yourself, isn't he? He remembers the 20 years ago. He's having them flashbacks
because he knows born.
This is Samoa Joe. He's thinking, give him my world championship in 2020.
One of the all-time greats.
When I've got a roster full of
consistently
people
that
should be the world champion. that you've stopped starting.
Can talk, can wrestle.
You've got fucking hell, mate.
Can be believable. Can sell a story.
He's good on the mic as well, yeah. Great commentator and good on the mic. I'll always say that about Samoa Joe.
Great commentator?
Yeah, I'll always say that. Yeah, I'll always give him that. He was a good commentator. That's what he was. I just never bought it, Ben. That's my issue with it. I've just never bought him. And if I'm in the wrong, fair play, I've just never seen it. Genuinely never.
Yeah, not intimidating this at all time. That's come with Randy Ogden, that. Jesus Christ.
He's not.
Jeff will be slapping him down like he slaps me down when I'm too mean to you.
Like, I just don't think he's intimidating. That's the thing. When I see him on telly,
have you seen? You've seen it. We watched him in Necro. Didn't you think he was intimidating in that match?
No, well, that's a what's one we're calling that match? That's obviously good obviously at the time and stuff. Good. Like with someone like a Necro Butcher. Do you know what I mean? It's
okay. What about the Kenta Kobashi match?
Well, yeah, we watched that as well. I'm not saying he doesn't have great matches, Ben, or hasn't had great matches.
And he's intimidating in those matches.
I just don't think he's got that aura that people think he's got. And as I say, that's just the way I view it.
I mean, it's the one tick box he's got, which is aura. If he was in EWR and there was a tick box for aura, it would go to Samoa Joe and not many other wrestlers. Who's got more aura, Solo Sikoa or Samoa Joe?
You put me on the spot here, you bet. Yeah.
These are the worst takes in grapple history. I agree with the chat.
And that's fair enough, and that's why it is what
we're losing patrons as you talk. Like, it's first in Montreal, man.
Well, don't ask me then. Don't ask me before. It's
fair enough. We'll gain a few too. Only you could get away with it.
We will, of course. But yeah, no. Just
anything more on it.
I mean, once again, I get it why people are attached to Joe, but as I say, will it be worth it overall in a couple of months? The story they tell, is Joe going to be champion for a long time? That's what we obviously want to see. And will he though, Ben? Will he survive? He'll obviously beat Eddie Kingston, but will he survive the next pay-per-view?
The one thing I can say for it is I genuinely don't know where they're going. Because it's so batshit. I genuinely don't know. Is the plan to just go back to Haman? Is the plan to move on to another babyface? Is it something to do with Swerve? Like, that's a positive. I don't think any of us know. Nobody can concretely say why they've done this. Yeah. And again, maybe that's not an advert for it, but it's a side positive that's come out of it that at least there's a little bit of unpredictability here. And maybe it'll turn out in 3 months, Tony Khan will sit there at press grinning like a Cheshire cat going, you're all doubting me, and look at this great story we told. I'm willing for that to happen. I'm willing to be wrong. I want to be wrong. Because it's Samoa Joe, and I don't want to be negative about Samoa Joe being and CM Punk being the 2 world champions. Punk's a real one, but you know what I mean.
See, that's the state of wrestling. But with Punk, at least he went away for 10 years, didn't he, and come back. Yeah. But
no, if Eddie wins tomorrow, last question: if Eddie wins tomorrow, better or worse? Next week, sorry.
I mean, at this point, it's a zillion times better. But then once again, everyone will argue, well,
Eddie Kingston, same problem though. Eddie Kingston, where's the aura? Look at his body, mate. Come on.
But that's different though for me, because he's like, Eddie's presented like that, isn't he? He's the everyman. He's the man in the crowd, could tell you, could have a real fight, stuff like that. He's that type of. I love Eddie Kingston. I'm not down Eddie Kingston at all. But then
you should love Samoa Joe too.
But then the conversation will be, if Eddie Kingston wins, we should have had the bigger build. So you can never win in this cycle we live in. You can't ever win, but it would be a way better world champion, because once again, it's fresh. You know, he should be the champion. You know, the storyline going in should be a bit better and longer to build up. But once again, you could have done this 2 years ago with Kingston, when he was on that trajectory where he was so over, when AEW had houses to be over in front of. Do you know what I mean?
And I'm not having this argument that he needed reps when he came back, and that's why we've done this. It's incompetence. Like, it's just incompetence. Why? And it's great that maybe we've recognised that, and we're moving, Eddie back to the slot that he should be in. But it's been incompetence the last while. I don't care even if Eddie wanted it himself, if Eddie wanted to team with Hook, if Eddie wanted to do things that aren't important, I think you need to go, no, mate, you're actually important to this company, and you returning should be important, and the things you do should be important. And if you're not ready, we'll wait till you're ready, mate, and then we'll do it. Like, just nonsense. But yeah, TJ Tennessee goalposts moving faster than Darby Allin. Suicide dive. That is Noah and Matty. And if Drew ever listens to this, hopefully he'll agree. But moving on from there, I'll throw in as well. I was going to say Revolution next year. It's in the middle of March. It's quite a while away.
That is
coming up, but I know JP will cover it in the news dump coming up this week. But it's going to be in the crypto arena in LA. So there we go. We'll see how many bodies we can get in there. 12,000 tickets we shifted for Revolution last year, Matty. So I'm expecting a big number like that as well. Yeah. Did want to reference, speaking of Samoa Joe, have you seen this? Maybe we'll agree on this one. Nigel McGuinness is coming out of semi-retirement once again to work Lee Moriarty in an Iron Man match. We did mention this on Sunday, didn't we? On the pre-show, the state of this final battle card. Like, I think it's one of those memes, isn't it, where it's like the people who watch ROH and the people who don't watch ROH, and we all just shake hands because we all agree, like, what the fuck is going on? Like, and again, nobody should pretend they actually care about ROH, because nobody cares about ROH in 2025. Even the 3,000 people who got Honor Club, I don't think they really care about ROH. I think they're there for the back catalogue and to watch some bonus good matches in there as well. But the company makes it clear they don't care. Tony Khan doesn't care. The week of the pay-per-view, or the week before a pay-per-view in this case, he remembers it exists. Yeah. And he just spams matches, and he just comes up with stuff. Sammy Guevara can wrestle twice. Nigel can come out of retirement. Fuck it, we'll give a title shot to who's lost in Collision the last few weeks. Never mind what's happened at ROH TV the last while. Like, God, it's broken record. Tony Khan shouldn't be working on ROH. Surely. Maybe he's not. Maybe he is, given it's one of the underlings. But then he sails in 2 weeks before a pay-per-view and does this every time, and it's just like, it's beyond comedy at this point. And I can't imagine Lee Moriarty and Nigel McGuinness in a pure title match is going to be lighting up your eyes.
Mate, but it's lighting up Gareth's month, hasn't it? I mean, when he told him that, have we figured out how long the Iron Man is? Is it half an hour? Because it can't be 60 minutes.
30 minutes, I believe.
Yeah, is it 30 minutes? Okay, at least.
There's a lot of matches on the show. They're not going an hour.
Yeah, wouldn't put it past Khan, Ben. I would not put it past them. But it is, as you say, it's funny that, I mean, it is someone who's so far removed from that promotion, and then when
which is everyone.
Even if I seen it the other day when I seen that Survivor of the Fittest match, the 6 wrestlers, like, okay, that'll be entertaining, that'll be good, but as you say, he's just come in the week or 2 weeks before, gone, right, we're gonna have, as you say, heating up Survivor of the Fittest match, then, which did any Ring of Honor fan even like? Would you say that to me on the pre-show? Is it just like a
it's not something that we look back and go, oh, remember that time Roddy Strong won one after 45 minutes or whatever it was. No. Same with the pure title.
Yeah, it's madness. But isn't Monet getting a shot at the women's TV Ring of Honor against Red Velvet? So that's another. But
I like that story. She can win every belt except for the AW Women's title.
Yeah.
Like, there's something to that, even if the joke of all these belts has gotten a little bit old. But there you go. That's coming up. Me and JP will be previewing that on Weekend Show this week. And another thing we'll be previewing, a bit of breaking news before we get out of here, Matty. we obviously, well, usually we talk the results, don't we, on weekend show? But TNA's Impact Wrestling is no longer going to be hiding away on people's cable TV systems. It is now moved, and it is official. It's going to be on AMC every week, home of what was it? Breaking Bad back in the day, and
it was really.
Walking Dead back in the day as well. Similar shows. Apparently, people shouldn't be doing somersaults here because I've just been looking at the numbers while we've been on air. I think obviously TNA does in the range of about 100,000, and I think AMC's biggest shows do between 200,000-300,000, depending on who you believe. They might outperform that. They might do better. It's a step up for them, and it's a pretty decent slot. And AMC pretty much going gun ho on it and putting out press releases and Twitter posts about it. Even put a teaser up, didn't they, yesterday about it as well? So sounds like they're getting behind it. Prime time on a Thursday night here for TNA. And the scuttlebutt, I can't see this reported by a genuine source, so it's just shit people saying right now that maybe this might upset the WWE apple cart, and maybe it'll mean WWE and TNA's relationship might be on the wane as a result of this, or even some people saying they might literally immediately use it as a reason to cut the relationship. If I was TNA, that's true. Absolutely worthy, 100%. I think this is as good as they're ever going to get. We don't know the money value behind it or anything like that at this very late stage of press time. But any reaction starting? Are you the one guy who's been watching TNA this year?
Mate, it's wild, and it seems like every week or month TNA are on a new station, Ben. It's been like this for how many years with them, hasn't it, really? They're always flip-flopping everywhere. They end up on different time slots, different channels, and as you say, it's got a bit of cachet with it being AMC, but I'm not too sure, mate. And especially with the WWE, it is bigger, but with the WWE, in bed partnership, I don't know how it's going to go. I mean, even stuff like your Joe Henry.
Do you think it will end? Do you think that's true?
Maybe, Ben. I mean, but at this point, does anyone care? Has anyone been elevated enough? Joe Henry's even lost, for me, is like steam that he had on, once again, never been the greatest wrestler, but he had a bit of something. Santana? Yeah, a whole.
That's booking all practice.
That's a spotlight in itself. That is, on any promotion, that is absolutely craziness. That is worse than Samoa Joe being world champion.
Oh yeah, apparently it's bollocks. Giselle saying, Sean Rossap saying TNA claims the Fightful. The WWE partnership is continuing, and did they even aided in the TV deal? All right, there you go. Counter to some of the reports.
And I will say to everyone coming at me that I admit don't watch Collision. Platt's corrected me there, so thank you, Platt. That Monet is defending the coveted Ring of Honor TV Championship because she won a unification match on Collision. So I stand corrected earlier on there, Ben.
Nice one, mate. Somebody has to cover Collision. I'm glad it's at this stage. It's very bad. But there we go. Maybe some good news for TNA. Outside of that, I'll let JP cover Claudio Castagnoli winning the CMLL World Heavyweight Championship over on the news stuff as well. Never watched the match, but he'll love it. That is in there as well. To quote the great man himself. And I'll throw in, and I'm finally story. As gotta throw. Always gotta have one on these shows, mate. As sad story, but Hulk Hogan's widow has had to come out and deny claims that the Hulk Hogan died due to, quote, street drugs. This being a highlight of the headline here from postwrestling.com, obviously coming in response to Ric Flair just talking any old shit. I shouldn't say this, he said on his podcast that is listened to by a reasonable amount of people, but what killed him is street drugs. The doctor wouldn't prescribe them anymore. He was in so much pain. He had that neck surgery that got infected, so back in the hospital, imagine 10 back surgeries, 2 knees, 2 hips, and the doctor wouldn't prescribe him anymore. He just couldn't do it in good conscience, so they went and got drugs off the street. His body said, you know what, I can't do it anymore. Sad. What a great guy. I mean, if anybody would appreciate a good, embellished, complete, very obvious lie, maybe there's some truth into it. It would be Artel. But obviously, ever since Hogan's wife at the time he died came out, Flair has come out on Twitter as well today to say that okay, fine, you got me. I agree. Therefore, nothing happened. I apologize for opening my mouth. Hulk Hogan was a great man and one of my great rivals. He did throw in there that he was in the top 2 greatest wrestlers of all time with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Doesn't reference The Rock or himself, interestingly. But yeah, always have to throw that in there too. Like, just shut the fuck up, Ric Flair, I think is the thing.
It's like, he just can't help himself, can he? He just cannot help himself. People putting mics and cameras in front of him. You're going to get this, aren't you? We've always had this out of him, and it's just wild. But that's one as well.
His tweets as well. The effort it takes to tweet with the first letter capitalized in every single tweet. Like people used to do back in the forum days. There'd be like different styles of posting. I was an all lower caps guy. I'd look back and I'd cringe on it now. But like it was easier because you didn't have to hit the caps lock all the time. Like doing that for every single word. That's more work than it's worth.
Million percent, Ben. But it is. it is just keep mics and cameras away from him. But he's never going to change, is he? He's absolutely never going to change. And one person that did want take on that would be JP himself, because he'd be all over that, wouldn't he? He would be all over.
We'll get an impression on the news dump.
Yeah. In the style of Stu Hart, hopefully. So we'll be all right.
There we go. But yeah, apparently untrue. So yeah, no street drugs in Hogan until we see the CMZ expose. Maybe we'll get there. But anything else you want to talk about today? Anything else you want to throw in?
Not much there, Ben. Just no, I just added just don't want to mention Samoa Joe no more, Benno. You know what I mean? We don't want to put too.
I feel like Crewy got like the prime you. I feel like if we
after a couple as well
in the pub.
Yeah, that was after.
I think you've mellowed a bit. I think what I got you last week, your real reaction to Joe winning the AW title, but the complaints in my inbox would be even worse, mate.
Yeah, it's as I say, just it is what it is with them at this point. We'll see what we do going forward, Ben. And as I say, it's as you said earlier on, to start playing that somber like death of the WWE like funeral march. It's like it's after death of wrestling. Like so you said earlier on, it's been banded about a lot. It's the creativeness is just. We need something. Like, is it going to change?
Good matches, mate. Continental Classic every week.
I mean, is this the time where actual good matches are the main thing now, and we've all got to succumb to that?
It's a story. It's a tournament. They actually are telling stories in the tournament.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing with AEW. The two storylines that I am actually into is the eventual assassination of Moxley and Takeshi Okada, and that's what they're going to go with. And they're going to be good payoffs when they do happen. So I will give them that, Ben. I'm a fair man.
Promotion worth watching, mate. Maybe in 2026 that could be
maybe full on. I'll keep you the highlights. Go on.
Tell you what, we didn't reference in the plugs in the intro. Grappies coming up in December, so you'll hear Matty maybe with a troubled heart trying to decide who was promotion.
I missed that one.
And where's promotion of the year this year. So maybe we could just be both for you, mate, and that'll cover you. That'll be sound. But yeah, that'll be coming up in December. Obviously, we've got Sophia's Queen of the Mountain show talking Wrestle Kingdom from exactly 10 years ago, so very much looking forward to that. Wrestle Kingdom 10, and outside obviously got Eddie's show coming up as well, Matty, and more Brett show, more fun as well.
More Brett show, maybe a sly little thing if we mentioned Benno, maybe coming around Christmas with as you say, mate, with dotting them I's and crossing them T's as we speak. So hopefully we can get something another Christmas little surprise, Benno, at Christmas time. That's what we want. You get your presents at Christmas, and sometimes you don't know what you're getting, do you? So maybe that comes as well. Yeah. But a lot of good stuff, as you say. Sophia and Eddie's picks, the Grappies and the Crappies, which also dominates. A few hours that in it, Ben, of us going back and forth on the year. So
more than that, mate. Jesus Christ, yeah, that's going to be a long night. I would not be sleeping that night.
Yeah, a lot of content as always. This one coming up here on Grapple, Ben.
As always, so yeah, you can get all that patreon.com/grapple, obviously, and youtube.com/@grapple. They haven't changed; they're still there. And yeah, we'll always take on new people. So yeah, excited to see how the month goes. You can even get yourself a free trial, get yourself the pre-show. Even we never plugged that enough, as I said at the top as well. All kinds of fun chats happen there as well. So you look forward to that on Sunday too. But yeah, outside of that, look forward to Retro. Benno and Hamfler will be out next weekend as well. Check out this week's one if you haven't already. And yeah, outside of that, go for it, folks. Have a great week. And yeah, I'll be back with JP on the weekend show this week. So as always, thank you to our patrons. Thank you to our live patrons who've tuned in live with us tonight, as well as our live YouTube members. And as always, thank you to our kings and queens of the mountain, Conor Laughlin, Eddie Sideburns, Chris Black, Carl Gack, Sophia Hitchcock, Sam Mulvaney, and Marty Ellis. We'll catch you all again on the next one. Good night.
Bye.
Players out, Mr. Piano Man. It's help I could find the button, wouldn't it? There we go.